Step up, traders, time to roll. Numbers shaking down the scroll.
Check 1, 2.
Ticking, you already know.
That's really weird.
Into the stock market show.
Why does it look so weird?
Oh, yeah. Monday to Friday when the floor the line. Captain Jim James help you cut that dry.
Woo!
Charts are jumping, green and red gold. He's steering this ship on the stock market show. It's a stock market show where the bulls run wild. The bears lay low from the first loud bell till the closing go. Ride that wave on the stock market show.
That's weird.
Got your watch list ready, got your game face on. When the spreads get heavy, he keeps you calm. From the open road till the last trade goes, he's calling the shots on the
What did I miss?
show. Hey, it's a stock market show.
Wow.
Run wild. The bears lay low from the first loud bell till the closing go. Ride that wave on the stock market show. Lock in.
That worked.
Get that trigger pulled on. TraderTheTrigger.com. TraderTheTrigger.com.
Okay, maybe that worked. That worked.
TraderTheTrigger.com.
I look weird on camera, like I'm fat or whatever. I'm not this fat in real life. I guess the camera adds 10 pounds. I'm not actually fat. Maybe I need to get a better camera. And I look pale today, but that's because my lighting is fucked up. But yeah, hold on a second here, guys. Okay. Sitting here, we ain't doing nothing. Hope you all had a great night, and I hope you all had a great morning, great overnight, great morning. We had, let's start at the beginning here, start at the top. Hold on here, I gotta drink some water. So, let's start at the beginning. The market decided the market back in late March, as we were heading into the end of quarter, around the 23rd, 24th, 25th, we've ended up putting in a, have that right? The right dates right here? Hold on. Make sure I get this right here. I don't want to be misspeaking. That was right in here. Well, the market tried to escape on March 23rd. And that was a Monday. We had a nice low on the Friday on the 20th. I think it was the 20th, 21st. We put in a high on Monday morning at 10 a.m. And the market attempted to escape Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and wound up coughing and giving up price. And those three, remember those three magic levels I had for you? I posted on Twitter I said, these are your 3 key levels. And then I posted a GIF that said, if you lose them. And we lost them. And what did it result in? Resulted in a market fucking meltdown into the end of quarter. We actually lost from tip to tail when we lost that level. We went down 4.77%. That's significant. And not only is it significant, but we ended up selling into the end of quarter, end of month, end of quarter. We weren't able to break out and away from the new major trend that is formed for the seasonal weakness that is the stuff happens every spring. Now, as we traded down into the end of quarter and were unable to escape that trend, we bounced. And we were due for a bounce for tactical and technical reasons. So you get a tactical bounce, so we're sucked into trend, and we get a tactical bounce at the start of the new quarter. And we go high, right? We go up, 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 up. And what we do is we trade up into the daily trigger at yesterday's close. And lo and behold, we have also scheduled at that time, coincidentally, at 9, and that's not coincidentally, but at 9 p.m., we had President Donald Trump, address the nation. And this was last night. Most traders and investors and whatever you want to call yourself, degenerates, whatever it is out there, whatever awesome town you are, were observing last night. I was actually surprised how many people watched the show last night. I was impressed by the number of people that were watching, and it's a good sign for retailers. Retailers are getting better at communicating to each other, and it's not easy to like when the crowd is rioting, to grab someone and say, "Come over here." It's never been easy, and only in recent history has it gotten to a place where you can do that more successfully. Back in the day on Yahoo message boards, people would upload spreadsheets of SPX option data, and they would force you on your own to use a Black Scholes model to create a GEX map for the day. But you would just get data on a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet. Today, it's not like that. Today, snap of a finger, press a button, and we have that data today. Communication is not limited to a crappy cell phone, a Nokia cell phone, or a landline, or a dial-up. It's not limited to some sketchy. Well, it wasn't really sketchy. Actually, the Yahoo message boards are pretty good, but I actually would prefer those today. But whatever. That's just reminiscing. But today, information is near instantaneous, and there are traps in there. There's more succulence in trying to draw a retailer into the FOMO or doom or frenzy. And most, like, I think, like Rubner has said from Citadel, that don't fuck with retailers anymore. And I think, like, Pravorsky and some other guys out there, I think even Charlie McGilligot has said the retailer is much better than they used to be. And that's not good for the street. Now, not all retail gets to escape that, or a new retailer doesn't, of course, or not often. But I was impressed last night with the number of people that were aware of the price action, the tactical bounce, not saying it's only tactical. Maybe it's tactical, maybe it is the bottom. I'm open to either of those outcomes. And I'm going to observe what takes place as prices offered up to this event last night. And so Last night we had price pushed up to that potential or chance to escape this downtrend. We had a chance just before the quarter end. We're given another chance, which I think is false, but that's a whole other story. But we were given another chance last night, and we didn't get. What did we not get last night? We didn't get the look above, did we? You're always looking for that look above. If you remember, if you've been around here, you don't even have to be around here that long. If you remember last year, you only have to have been around since last year. If you remember, every time that we would go to that place where I'd say, hey, I just want to see if we look above or not. That's where we were last night. You want to see if that look above turns into a breakout, that you can escape this downtrend, or if it's rejected. And the news doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter if it's good news is good news or bad news is bad news. It just matters that you look above. That's really it. And if you don't look above, it's normally a pretty negative sign. So last night we did not look above. It doesn't matter what Trump said last night, believe it or not. We'll talk about what he said last night and how that is material to the market. But last night, the market said no. It shrugged off what Trump's speech was, and we dived and dove lower into this morning. And last night was pretty ugly, right? I'll be honest, it kept me up. I don't know if it kept you up, but I was up till pretty fucking late last night. I don't think I actually went to sleep until 2 to 4 in the morning or something like that. And I was going to start posting jokes at like 2 a.m. about the Europeans hating the U.S. right now. They're going to sell it down to the depths of hell. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. They'll read into that and stuff like that. But I was up last night. And so we rolled last night. We did not do the look above. And this morning, I read some of the news stories that were coming out this morning. And some of them were pretty bad. There was like, oh, dude, sell everything on the open. And I got a headline right here for you. Where is that headline? Not a headline, but like paid headline or whatever, but people pay for this. Another leg down. Thursday pre-market. Imagine reading that headline. You're like, slam the sell button on the bell. And that's not what we did. This morning, I expected a bounce. And there's a reason I expected a bounce. It doesn't matter the time frame. You know, if your stops are taken, that they're going to give you an out 85% of the time. And even if we do continue lower, it's going to rip faces off to the upside to give you an out. And there's some other information that we already know, isn't there? Was that a tactical bounce at the end of the quarter? Was it not? Is the market positioned to sell from the close yesterday or not? And more than likelihood, they're not. You might get some Bobby Badass that's like, I top ticked last night at the close. But the market is not there. The market is watching the bounce that took place at the quarter end, right? And they're wondering, as we go up into this daily trigger area, do we reject there? And it was just a tactical bounce. Or do we look above to give more hopium to bulls, and that maybe that was the bottom? And so now this morning, what you're seeing in price action is the market giving an out to participants. So you have a tactical bounce this morning. We go back up. And regardless of where we go from here, if we do break out, and that was the bottom, that low that we had at the end of the quarter, or we start to go down to the depths of hell, there's a lot of information that was given on this tactical bounce. There was a lot of information given on the rejection. There's a lot of information given this morning for the market. And so there's a ton to go over here. We went over it in a private stream this morning. So while people's hair are on fire, or they're in FOMO, or they're in fear, or all those kind of things, it's not really what's going on here. Most of our traders know when to sell. They know when to cut their losses. They know when to get long. They know when not to panic or when not to chase FOMO or when to maybe leave a few runners on or whatever it is that they do. And then they know when to observe and things like that. So today, if you're a member in our community, there was a live stream that was private. And the reason for that live stream that was private this morning was because when we come into these inflection points, I need to be able to spend time with these traders and investors that don't have a lot of time in market, so that they can sit back and observe what happens normally most of the time. And how do they trade those moments? Like you have this huge crushing emotional down move into the quarter end. Then you have this huge emotional trade higher, bounce into the first week of the quarter. And then you have this rejection in the overnight. And then you have some blood overnight this morning. And a new trader can become very overwhelmed. It can be very like emotionally draining. It can drain your bank accounts. Oftentimes you're caught in the moments where it's going down, so you get puts at the wrong time, or you sell calls at the wrong time, or we're going up and you're not selling puts, you're not buying calls, then you get the FOMO in, you're like, want to buy the calls at the top, and then you get sent back down to the shitter again, and you get whipsawed back and forth, and it's not a good time, is it? Yesterday, I saw two traders in two different places that I saw a trader on Wall Street Bets, and I saw a trader on Twitter that was like, I'm done. I'll wait until the dust settles. I'm getting eaten alive here. I'm getting chewed up, and I'm turning left when I should turn right. I'm turning right when I should turn left, and then I'm getting caught in all of this all of the stuff that's going on, and my awareness is not there, and I'm getting eaten alive. So I needed to take that moment this morning for our community, so that while all of this craziness is perceived to be going on for a lot of people, not everybody, but for a lot of people, for a new trader to pull them to the side and say, hey, come on over here, sit down for a minute, right? Do you notice how like I'm long and then I'm out, and then I'm short and then I'm out and I'm hedged and then I'm that's printing, that kind of stuff. And there's no like crazy town. It's just kind of like calm, well thought out, planned. And why am I making this plan for these things? So we spent that time, and then I drew a plan for today for what happened last night and what happened this morning and then this afternoon, and said, hey, this is why I draw this, and if this then that, and if this then that, and where's my problem? Where am I got something wrong in here? Bouncing off my friends, that kind of stuff. And what we've done as a group is we entered long this morning. We exited at the exact top, and then we've been sitting here all day long, chit-chatting and talking and bullshitting and whatever we were doing. And we haven't done anything yet. We haven't done a fucking thing. So we're waiting right now. So the stream is up for the public. We have the 12:30. We have the 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. Excuse me. 10 o'clock sell up here, right? Squeeze them up, set it down. We've got 12 p.m. flows here. They're trying to sell it down a little bit more, and we're waiting to see if there's anything to buy here. And there is a potential trade to the upside up here. This is a distribution trade here, but distribution trades can often put in new highs. And there is a cup and handle in here. We still haven't gotten the high. So if we were to get a high, if we were to pop up here and get the actual high above this line right here, there is a potential cup and handle in here to go higher. And if we can't get that, to get that started for a short-term trade, even if we're going to go down later, we're going to watch it. This kind of reminds me of like November on a 1 minute basis. We have a high in October 31st, and we got back from vacation. We said we're going to check back on the first week and see if we can get this thing going. And if not, we'll just keep going down until we actually can get it going. Or we start triggering major sell things. Now, we have to go over a few things that I did not go over in that private stream. One, in the overnight, we broke through some key levels. We broke through 647 and 642 in the overnight. Now, that wasn't real cash market hours. I'd like to see that happen in cash market hours. But we did trigger a door last night, theoretically, in futures, again, down to 614 and 610. Now, does that mean I position myself for that trade? No. If you know anything about the rules that we do use, I still need to see a few things to take that trade to the downside. There's a body of the trade from the 30s to the 20s and lower that has not been met yet. So we're in a sit at this moment right now. We're in this just sit and wait and don't do anything. At this moment, there's nothing to do in the market, or at least in SPOOs, there's nothing to do. So we want to watch and see if any of this gets bought, if we can turn this around, take that trade. We talked about this in a private stream, and if not, we'll let this trade go all the way down to where we can potentially take a trade. I'm not bearish here in like a short-term basis. I'm not bearish on this down move here, not quite yet, and not for a big trade. So I think if you were in that private stream, you are fairly aware of what I'm talking about. If you're a free member or a free community member, you may not. And that's okay too, because we'll talk about those things over time. I'll just be a little bit delayed because I got to take care of our community. Hang tight 1 second here. My phone's blowing up again. So what I'm going to do here is I didn't take a break. I've been streaming all morning. I need to take a break. And you may be watching the show and be like, fucking, what do you mean? You turn the stream on and he's not going to be here. I'm here. I'm just going to go potty, drink some water. My throat's all fucked up. I'm super sick still. And I do want you to know that, well, I mean, we'll talk about this later. Someone recommended that I schedule this. We are going to have a boot camp we're going to schedule. Hold on here. And I think what we're going to do is offer it to anyone that wants in on it, even free members, if you want in on a private boot camp. Because I think that over time, what happens is we have new people and they feel lost. And there are people that are not new and they don't feel lost at all. They're like, I know exactly what's going on. Then other people are like, what the fuck are they all talking about? So I think maybe every once a month or every 3 months, we need to do like I don't want to call it a come to Jesus moment. We need to do like is everybody on the same page? Even if you disagree with it, even if you have your own plan, even if you have a modified plan, whatever, at least we're all kind of like on the same page chatting about the same stuff. So call it a boot camp, basic training, something like that. We'll talk more about that later this afternoon because I do have the ability to start doing that. I have one more piece of equipment I'm waiting on, but it's like here this week or next week. It's a finite amount of time until it gets here, so that we can do that stuff. Or start rolling into the nighttime show. Start rolling into some private streams. More private streams. Where we have a self-guided stream. You ever notice like sometimes I'm not here, I draw it out and it goes exactly where that is. I can usually tell when those days are consistently enough, or make an adjustment if I need to. So. If you're just tuning in right now, we're going to have a boot camp coming up. Anyone that wants to join it can. If you're a winning trader, you probably don't need it. If you have a lot of time in market, you know all the ins and outs, you probably don't need to attend it. But if you're like new or you're like very successful and start getting lost, or you get caught in the emotions, or you get caught in the whipsawing, or you get caught in the FOMO or fear, this might be for you. I'm going to give you a quick example here. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I was in a large forum with tens of thousands of people in it. It was like a pantheon or something. Not a pantheon, it was like a coliseum or something. And the zeitgeist in that thing was pretty fucked up. And so I made a post in there, and I got eaten alive. My post was correct, and it's played out exactly within reason, fairly predictive. But I was shot down to hell, and the prevailing thought in that forum was horrific. Like supply side, people that supply the market with money are running it. And if you don't want to get caught in that kind of stuff, in the face of that stuff, because I know I used to deal with it myself. You know, those guys all sound smart. Everyone's doing this, and I didn't know that they were all being led to the slaughterhouse. And you don't ever want to be led to the slaughterhouse. It's not fun. And if you're being led to the slaughterhouse, and you don't see it. You definitely want to be able to cut yourself out of the slaughterhouse, right? If you like, sometimes you get caught in that line, like Animal Farm or something. Like there's like a yeah, I got stuck in a from a paddock into I forget what they're called anymore, but they have these like hallways, for lack of a better term, made with fencing. And, oh my God, I'm caught in there. How do I get out of it? You know, so you want to be able to get out of it too if you're caught in it, and not panic and not freak out, and not get whipsawed and ragdolled and you know, taking my toys, I'm going home, I'm out of here. You took all my toys, I'm going home, I'm out of here. So if you are that person, if you've ever felt like that, or you've ever encountered that as a trader, I feel like you're being whipsawed, or you don't know what's going on, or I don't know, I'm looking left when I should be looking right, that kind of stuff. We're gonna start doing these boot camps, and it should remove a ton of that for you, enough of it, so that you're, hey, this is what I'm talking about. Oh, there. Oh, what's that right there? I like that. I like it. It's time for Iran to make a deal before it's too late. What is that? It's time for Iran to make a deal before it's too late. Glad to hear me. It was on Truth. FYI, Trump's on Truth Social right now. He's firing it up right now. Just be careful. That's what this. That's why this. I think that's why the screen is going black right now. You never know what he's going to fire off on Truth Social. You get on a tear. Yeah, I know, right? Right, Hack the Planet. Even if it's only for a second. We'll mark this one right here and see what this is. We look like we have some kind of a bottom forming here, but we don't have a trade yet. This is the bottom right here. We think might be a bottom, might not. We don't know. We do have. I would like to see. It's kind of a sloppy thing right here. I'd like to see some kind of a little bit more move higher, but we are above the 1 minute trigger right now. And we'll monitor this closely here. No longs on this yet. Not yet. I'd really like. I'll be honest with you. I'd be honest with you guys. I'd really like to see like No, it's wrong. No, not that. God damn it.
What was added that the biggest bridge in Iran comes tumbling down, never to be used again.
I'd really like to see something like that right there, and then whatever that back test is to take it. Something like that. I know it sounds like, why cap? What about all this trading here? Nope. There's like a lot of like sucked down in the depths of hell in here. So I would really like to see that tick right there. That should set up some kind of a cup and handle to go higher if we can get that trade. If we can't, that's fine too. I'd like to be like Johnny on the spot somewhere down in here. But this part of the trade, too risky right now. So we're just going to watch this closely. I'm going to take a quick break here. I'll leave the stream up for you. I'm going to give you an overview quickly. So if you're a free member watching, I got this right here. Now there's a few things. There's a few things here to be thinking about. The first one would be this squeeze here was constructive, but did not put in a new high, but it was constructive. There is a potential here to actually, in this topping distribution process, to actually put in a new high and then catch some kind of a cup and handle. There is potential for that. So just be aware of that. Now, if that doesn't set itself up for a short intraday trade, if it doesn't, we should keep grinding, have false starts, and we'll check this one here for the same kind of an operation. You'd get a one up here and possibly right there. If this doesn't show itself, we'll keep dragging down and down and down and down. And I'm really interested in like 637.5. in SPY. It's not quite 635. And I really don't. That's 636.62. As long as we're above 635 and 50, I'm interested in some kind of a trade down here to go higher, believe it or not. Now, if we start filling down here, slice through, and put in the new low, we'll change plans and all that kind of stuff. But this is like a rough outline of the plan, so if you want to look at it, you can. There's a bigger plan and a bigger like time frames and stuff, but for intraday stuff, this should be enough to figure out what we're gonna do. And I would not be in puts here. This is a dotted line intended for the bulls to take another shot at it. They took a shot right here. This is likely you're being allowed to make a decision to get out or to stay in. But the bulls still have another chance to go up here. They have another chance to go up here, and believe it or not, down here. So the top is not in yet. And I'm not willing to take the big trade down yet until we're down here, failure, and then trade all this stuff. We've already traded all this, so I don't need to come back here and do that. I just need to see the new low and then start getting bared up down there. But other than that, the bulls are, I wouldn't say they're in control right now, but you know that they don't ever leave a dip behind. There's no dip they won't buy. So we'll leave this right here. And we'll watch this together as a group. And as soon as I get back from this break, we're going to talk about Trump last night, what my initial thoughts were, what my thoughts were late night, and then what my thoughts were this morning after I digested all that stuff. We'll talk about the Europe, NATO. We'll talk about what I think is going to happen. And I know that I'll give you a teaser. I'll give you a teaser. So there are a lot of planes heading to the Middle East right now. I'll tell you that. On par with the Iraq War. I'll say that. Then we'll come back and we'll talk about it in a little bit. Maybe that'll impact some of like, why was Trump doing this? Initially last night I thought maybe there was something supposed to happen, but I don't think so. I think he had a message for specific groups, and we weren't the audience. Maybe we were to an extent, but there was a different audience he was speaking to last night. So we'll get into it, and we'll talk more. We'll talk about the impacts material. Was there any material information? Is there unknowns? Is there anything that could be disruptive to where the market needs to go down to price in more bullshit or not? And we'll talk more about that in a bit. We'll do like an after-action report on the speech last night, and then how is the market digesting that this morning, and what it really meant last night. So I'll be back with you in just a minute. So I'll make sure there's nothing else in here. I will post this. Someone was asking about Nike earlier. I'll post this for you in the Discord. I'm not going to post. I was going to post in the Discord, but people read this shit and they... Hey, thanks, guys, for being in there. Binky, John, Al, all you guys, Winky. Appreciate you guys being in there. And just give me like 5 or 15 minutes. I just need a quick break. I've been very sick. I'm getting better. I do feel slightly better this morning. And I'm way underslept. I have not slept in a long, almost, it'll be 48 hours as of tonight, but this is good. It's a good sign that I'm not sick right now. I'm not as sick as I was. So it's gonna be like a quick 15-minute break, and I'll be back with you guys in just a minute. You guys, I think most of you, if you're a member, try to guide free members if they don't know what the fuck is going on, and at least be like, yeah, just watch this closely and don't do anything or whatever. Let's watch this closely. You want to keep your eye on you want this dotted line up here. You want to keep an eye on this dotted line right here. This is the close from yesterday, or not the close, but the high from yesterday at 130. It's important, and I want you to remember this one right here. This is your daily. Okay, sellers want to keep you underneath this number right here, and then the bulls really don't have to do shit for today. If the bulls just keep it above 646.85 or 63, whatever that is, that's all they need to do today. Now, we are in a short week, so more can happen than just that. But just be aware that the bulls have done everything they need to do today. We could literally blast all the fuck down here, and the bulls don't have shit to worry about. So if there is a trade, just trying to get the best price. And my one concern at this moment, I don't like that supply up there. I really don't. And we'll figure out we'll know quickly if that was just a tactical bounce or if the market is buying. I think the market is. I'll be honest with you, but we could fuck around down here for a little while. I was pretty bearish though on that shit last night. And I'm not gonna lie. And I'll explain the paths to you later this afternoon. We'll talk about all the pathways, right? So when you just decide on a plan for how you're going to trade, you're aware of all these different things moving forward from here, and when to actually get short and cut the ripcord and all that kind of stuff, and see if this still remains productive. And I'll give it. I'll even if I can type, maybe I can even type it out for you or something on the stream. And but if you're a regular member, you already know this. You basically have the gist of what all this is. I'll be right back. Just a few minutes. Stream news squawker is up. Oh shit! Trump told Attorney General Pam Bondi issue will soon be removed. The Republicans are also saying they want to remove Kristi Noem and Hegseth, believe it or not. That's the whisper, at least. Trump, the biggest bridge in Iran, comes tumbling down, never to be used again. Much more to follow. And we're going to talk about the interplay of this in his speech last night, and what it means, and why he didn't go after NATO last night, and NATO's being put in position with they have to, in the Middle East and Asia and Australia, how he doesn't have to do a goddamn thing here. This I think this war ends sooner than you think. I really do. So don't get caught in the rearview mirror of it. And I'll talk to you here soon about it. Just give me a few minutes. I'm going to put something light and refreshing on in the background. Not getting too much news right now. Hold on a second here. Something that I've suffered through myself. I'm gonna put some light audio on in the background of things that I've listened to repetitively over and over and over. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I had no fucking idea what these guys are talking about. But maybe we'll start playing this stuff in the background quietly when we have nothing going on in the market. We're gonna start at square one. Hang tight 1 second. We got a lot to go over, a whole shit ton. We're gonna start with this is some old school shit too. You don't even hear this stuff anymore. We're gonna start with just audio. We're gonna play it nice and low in the background. And if anything comes up or I start blabbing or whatever, I'll turn it lower or whatever. Right here. This is the Option Industry Council. This is Zig Ziglar, dude. I haven't read a book by this guy in fucking forever. Remember, if you don't know who these people are, this is the Option Industry Council. It's a nonprofit from Chicago that is there to help you. They've been around for a long time. No one uses them. If you don't ever want to pay for a class, people trying to sell you classes and stuff, you don't need them. You can just use these guys.
Where you can submit questions. And now, happy to say, but of course, before we get started, I think most of you know that the options industry does have the options, the ODD, the options disclaimer document, which talks about characters.
Choose Baker Hughes total rig count coming in 548, oil rig count 411.
Listed options industry. A lot of different reasons for that.
This is like almost 20 years old.
Second best year in history. If you've got some questions for Nick to add them in. Motivations for different types of investors. We'll go through return calculations for both cash secured and margin puts, and then we'll get down to the discussion of the importance of planning. And
hey, importance of planning.
Take your questions.
The importance of planning.
If you've got some questions for Nick to add them into the question box as we go along. So, options, we've got two types of options. We've got calls and we've got puts. Real quickly, calls are the options to buy the underlying, but puts, are the option to sell the underlying. So, generally, when people think about puts, they're thinking generally about bearish or downward moves in the stock. But that's why we're going to spend time tonight talking about both buying and selling puts, because there are different rights and obligations associated.
According to reports here, the House sees no reason to come back from recess early to approve DHS Senate bill,
So again,
now
put
that Trump
basics.
says they can pay all workers per
Violent
person
put,
familiar
also
with
known
a
as the
member's call.
holder, has the
Again, that's
right
according to a person
sell
familiar with a
shares of
member's call.
stock. One of those rights is the ability to exercise. And, to get these rights, the buyer or holder pays a premium. And as I mentioned,
Again, there's
generally,
reports the House sees no reason to come
put
back
buyers
from recess early
are
to
more
approve
often than
DHS
not
Senate bill,
bearish,
now that Trump
although
says
there are
that he can pay all
positions,
workers.
where
According
you
to
can
person
own puts
familiar
and
with the members
own
call.
underlyings or different options where it's not necessarily bearish, but straightforward puts, you're talking about a bearish position. Now, the other side, for every buyer of an option or a put, there's a seller or a writer. And just like the call options, the put
Someone on each side of that trade.
obligations. And their obligations on the sell side of a put is to actually buy the shares of the underlying. And as I mentioned, when I started out, that's where I used to, get confused for a while, actually figuring out that, okay, well, I'm dealing with puts. Puts are bearish. What's this conversation or obligation to buy shares if I'm dealing with puts? Well, that's the obligation that the seller or the writer have. The seller or writer also can be assigned with options, we either exercise or get assigned. Now, to have these obligations and to give up the ability or to actually to potentially be assigned, we collect a premium. So sellers collect premiums, buyers pay premiums, and generally when we're selling puts, we're looking at neutral to bullish positions. So we've got buyers and sellers. It's the case for every option, each one of those 16 million plus contracts that takes place every day. And with, each put buyer, we've got an obligation, a right to sell the shares, and the put sellers have the obligation to buy the shares. One thing that it's important to be straight on is this idea that all of these options that we're talking about, these listed options, are American style. And that's an important distinction, American versus European style. The American style option is an option that can be exercised or assigned at any time from the point you buy it right up until expiration. The other type of option are the European style options, where they can only be exercised or assigned on expiration day itself. So we're talking about American style, where you can exercise or be assigned at any time. So again, just touching on these important concepts about put basics. Put buyers have the right to sell the underlying share at that all-important strike price. And that's really the next detail we're talking about here. Puts come in all kinds of prices and strikes. They all have rights, but the ability to sell that underlying is right at the strike price. And again, you can do that exercise at any time before the option expires. Put sellers or writers, on the other hand, again, have the obligation to buy the underlying shares, not sell the underlying shares, but buy the underlying shares. So for those of you new to the puts, I hope you'll take away at least this whole idea that put buyers have the right to sell the underlying shares, put sellers have the obligation to buy the underlying shares at the strike price. And we'll go through some examples to clarify this whole idea of strike price, if assigned at any time before the option expires. So in exchange for the put obligations, the seller or writer receives cash. So that's what this is all about, taking on some risk and taking in some cash. And then it gets down to, how much is my risk? How much is my reward? We'll go through some examples. And when we receive that premium, we do keep the premium whether we're assigned or not. And again, walking through some examples, whether we actually, if we are assigned, that means we'll actually have to buy the stock. And we'll look at that from either a margin or a cash secured basis. Short put profit potential. Say that quick 3 times. Short put profit potential. The upside profit is limited to the put premium received. It's also the case on the call side. But your short put profit potential is
Israel's
limited
energy
to
ministry says
the premium
Leviathan
that we
rig
get
is going to
when we
return to
sell that
operation.
put, less any commissions we pay. The loss potential, the downside risk, is clearly substantial if we understand this concept of selling
Dude, flush it.
and getting long the stock below that strike, less the premium we take in. And of course, that's why we're on the call today, to get a clear understanding of the risk versus reward of selling puts. And, we are limited only by the underlying stock declining to zero. So, again, we'll go through a couple examples.
Only limited by the underlying stock going to zero.
Diagram of a short put. You can see that, I'll start first. We've got substantial downside loss potential. Our solid black line goes down dramatically below that break-even point. And as the previous slide said, it's all the way down.
According to Interfax, Russia's Uzhkov says Strait of Hormuz is open for Russia.
$10 stock, you sell a put for $1, you've got $9 of downside loss potential and $1 of profit. And you can see that horizontal line. There are two horizontal lines. The lower one is the break-even point. The horizontal line above that is the potential profit.
Can I maybe put a screenshot of this in?
And that is going to be maxing out at whatever price you sell your option.
Browser source, share monitor, share web-based content.
And, there are a couple different motivations for why people do sell puts. So the break-even point, again, a rather simple concept, but one that maybe takes a while to grasp if you're new. First of all, just getting clear what the heck these
here, how do I do this?
Can be confusing. But we've got our strike price minus the premium received is going to be the break-even point, with our put sale. Now, short puts versus the net stock purchase price, upon assignment. And assignment means, we have to fulfill the obligation.
It's a reminder yesterday, according to Al Arabiya News, that Russia said Iran constructively agrees in the passage of some ships through the Strait of Hormuz.
Strike price minus the premium received. So let's take a look at a $50 put. We got XYZ, and we sell one $50 put. That means we are taking on an obligation to buy the stock if it's below 50 at expiration. And we're going to sell that put at $2.50. So again, by selling a 50 put, we are taking on the obligation to buy stock anywhere below 50 at expiration. Now, just because you sell that 50 put, and in our example, we're selling it at 250, it doesn't mean, in this case or any, option selling strategy, that you need to hold it to expiration. You can get in and out of that at any time. And towards the end of our presentation, we'll talk about planning and how important that is. And it'll speak to, some of the adjustments that you may consider making. So we're selling one XYZ, $50 put at $250. If assigned, we must buy 100 shares of XYZ at the $50 strike price. And, the reason it's 100 shares, most of you may know that each option corresponds to 100 shares of stock. The vast majority of those 16 million contracts in trade are standard options. We do have jumbo options that correspond to 1,000 shares. We have weekly options, not weeklies, but mini options on just a handful that 5 underlines, where are high-priced underlines, where each contract corresponds to just 10 shares of stock, not 100 shares. But the vast majority, each option corresponds to 100 shares of stock. So we sell to put it, the 50 put, in our example, $2.50. If assigned, we've got to buy the stock at 50, and we get assigned for two ways, basically. At expiration,
I need to put my Robinhood account back up on the screen sometime too.
in the money,
Put this new show up. I gotta do the.
so the buyer of that put exercises.
I gotta finish the layout for the new show and stuff. How it sits on the.
They get the short stock, and we have the obligation.
Amazon imposes
to buy the
3.5%
long stock.
fuel surcharge for many online
The
merchants.
next step here in figuring things out is the net purchase price. And this goes to the motivation for an awful lot of put sellers. We have that 50 strike price minus the $250.
Again, Amazon
or
will start
$250
charging
that we
sellers who
take
use
in
its shipping
for
services a
each put we
3.5%
sold.
fuel and logistics
So it's that
surcharge
strike
later this month,
less the
joining the
credit
ranks of
taken in
shipping companies,
gets us
raising
our
prices as
purchase
the war in
price
Iran
for the
pushes
stock.
oil prices higher.
So $47.50.
The fees will take
So
effect on April 17th for customers
That in essence
of the
would
company's
be
fulfillment by
where
Amazon
we
service.
purchase the stock, less the commission for selling the put. And clearly, if the stock were higher than $47.50 when we were assigned, we'd have an unrealized profit, and below that level, we'd have a loss, depending on where the stock was when we were assigned. So, some considerations for any put, regardless of the motivation for selling them. Are you as an investor comfortable with owning that stock? That's why we're, selling these puts, potentially to acquire stock or generate income. But, if you're going to get in, even if you're generating, if you're selling puts to generate income, are you comfortable owning the stock if you get assigned? Are you able to buy the stock? Will you pay cash for that stock, or would you be doing something on margin? These are very important questions that, any real serious option trader, especially on the sell side, has to be asking themselves. Net stock purchase price could be less or greater than the current market price, which is what we were just kind of going through, and we will speak to that as we go through the presentation. It's all dependent on the amount of premium we take in. So risk, always critically important with any investment strategy. Our downside risk for the put writer is similar to any shareholder. Well, why is that? Well, we're selling puts, and as we've said, by selling the put, we've taken on an obligation to buy stock. So that's why our downside risk is similar to any stockholder. Net price paid for stock, maybe less than the current market. That just depends on, where we get assigned and where the price is when that happens. Of course, if the net stock price is greater than the current market, we may have an unrealized loss. But that's just a function of the level of the market. Short put, I showed this earlier. There is our P&L graph of the short put. And, does that P&L graph look familiar? How about the covered call? What do you think? Have you thought in terms of a short put?
Oh,
Being
where's my
the same
weights?
thing as a covered call from a risk reward standpoint? If you haven't, please do. And, with all the presentations we offer, especially, when we're talking to folks who are kind of new to options, many investors are familiar with the whole cover call strategy, but boy, especially many new investors, they don't get a sense because, they haven't really grasped the whole concept. Yeah, they get that, they're selling a call around their long stock and they're generating income. But I think oftentimes that whole break-even point is lost on them, especially early on, and they don't realize some of the risks associated with the covered call strategy. They're exactly the same as the short put.
Joe, I don't want to break in on you right here, but I do want to let you know that we're getting a number of questions on this slide specifically about how the short put and the covered call can basically determine a similar strategy. Could you go into a little bit more detail on that? I think some of our attendees would appreciate that.
Okay, absolutely, Nick. Thanks for breaking in. That's a good thing. And keep the questions coming. The short put, we've gone through. We are selling an obligation, and that obligation is to buy stock at the strike price where you sold it. And then the variable is the price that we take in for the short put. But first and foremost, we sell a put. We're taking on an obligation to potentially have to buy stock if it closes below the strike at expiration or goes down a lot and we get assigned, meaning, we're forced to buy the stock before expiration. That's the obligation of a short put. Downside, significant profit potential. Upside, our premium is maxed out at the level of premium we sold the put for. So that's the short put side. How in goodness name can the covered call be the same thing? Well, it's all about understanding the concepts, the obligations, and the rights. In a covered call, what is a covered call? It is where an investor owns the underlying and then sells the obligation to sell the stock at the strike. And what do they do, or what does the investor get for selling that obligation? Just like selling a put, we're selling an obligation. Well, the difference is we already own the underlying with the covered call, and now we've sold the obligation to sell the stock at the defined strike price. So what have we done? We've got, let's go back to our $50 strike. We are long, let's say we're long the stock at 50, that 50 strike, and we've sold the 50 call, the obligation to sell the stock at $2.50. So just like we're on the put side, we sold the put for $2.50. Our maximum profit on the put side would be the $2.50, and our break even would be that strike less the premium taken in, or $47.50. With the covered call, we've got that long stock at 50. We've sold the obligation to sell the stock at 52.5. That's why the line goes horizontal, just like by selling the put. The line goes horizontal at the level of premium that we've taken in. And then what's our downside protection for that long stock? Do we have any in a covered call? Well, the downside protection is the amount of premium we've taken in with the short call. And in the example we're talking about, if we sold the call for $2.50, we were long the stock at 50, it would be that $50 stock less the $2.50. Our break even would be down to that $47.50 level. But just like the short put, beyond the break even point, what do we have in a covered call? Long stock. And a short call that, as the stock continues to go down, is essentially, it may have some value, but your break even point is $47.50. So the risks and rewards are exactly the same as the graph points out. Significant downside loss potential, because the stock can go from whatever your strike price is, less the premium, to zero. Whatever that difference is the risk on the long side in both these positions. And then to the upside, your profit potential is capped because you can't take in more profit than the put you sold. And on the covered call side, you've delivered or sold the obligation to sell the stock at the strike. So that's something, Nick, that investors when I do the live presentations, they're all, many shake their head, having a hard time believing that, a short put and a covered call are the same thing, but they are essentially the very same thing from a risk reward standpoint.
Perfect. I think that should clear it up for some of our guys, and I think we can go ahead and kick it off back on slide 14.
Okay, we'll do. Different investor motivations. Who, where are we trying to buy stock when we sell puts? Is it about generating income, or is it really about acquiring stock? Are we content with assignment and the actual share purchase? If that's the case, are we going to buy the underlying shares? Are we going to do that with margin?
How about the wiffle bop? Because
is the whole idea about selling puts strictly about generating income, where we really couldn't care less about buying the stock? We want that stock to be above the strike price at expiration or some point before, so we can make a profit. So we can basically buy back our short put, or have it finish out of the money and collect
yes.
premium. So it gets down to buying the shares.
Tell me, Zig.
Is the motivation for income. So depending on that, I think oftentimes your strike price and the amount of time will vary when you go to actually put on the position. And sometimes, the motivations, tend to overlap. Sometimes the writer is content to receive and just keep the premium. And sometimes, income generators are happy buying the stock. So that's where, having a specific plan and sticking to it, becomes quite important. Let's get to an example. It's March 20th. XYZ, our favorite stock, currently trading at $81.50. Look at that 52-week range. Not too volatile.
52-week range. So picking the right stock that behaves consistently.
I'd like to actually buy the stock at 80 or less in about 3 months. And these are various call and put prices in May and June. Remember, we're in March. So maybe we decide to sell the June 80 put.
Let me see here.
The put in our example is priced at $3.90. So again, we're in March. We're looking to acquire stock.
The bottom of the bear season, right? Yeah.
So what does that mean? Obviously, it means in order to get assigned on this put, that stock is going to have to be below 80 between now and June expiration.
Mm-hmm. You mean like Nike, maybe?
Let's look a little bit closer. We've talked about,
I want to go look at Nike
versus doing it on margin. If, again, with the
God, I feel like we go through cycles with Nike.
Of buying stock, the cash secured put means we sell the put, but all important next step.
Oh, fuck yeah, man. Nice drop on Nike.
In full required to buy the stock if assigned, less whatever credit we take in.
Oh, yeah, dude. Nike, look at that gorgeous, nice. Ooh, look at that beautiful. Nike's about to fucking commit Sabuco right now. Let's see what Winky had to say about this.
$390 per option. So that's going to give us the $8,000 basically at the.
What did Winky have to say on
that we take in? We're going to have to put out $7,610.
God damn, Winky, you're so prolific.
To buy or to put on this cash secured put. If we're assigned, our break-even point is going to be that 76.10, and I hope you get how that works. Straight price.
Start mailing out those fleeting 401k statements. Winky's a fucking savage.
really is, if you're new, it's a question of understanding the concepts and then knowing how to connect those dots. And here's the P&L graph, that we looked at without the numbers for both the put sale.
Look at fucking
It's going to be that 7610.
Jesus Christ, 2016. Man, look at that cup and handle on it.
$390.
They're both dipping the balls right now on this trade. We got to go back to 2016, don't we? Let's go back there and check it out.
The $390.
So we look at
when we sold the put. There's one exception. I mean, again, the motive.
Well, okay, so that's a good question. So the first question being asked right now is, let's get into this really quick.
And actually,
let me hold on here.
And then the stock goes up. Well, obviously there would be,
we're gonna pause Zig Ziglar right now. This guy's old as fuck now. I don't even know if he's still alive. I think he might have died. I'm not sure, but I'm trying to think back if he's still alive or not. We should probably get that guy on the show. There's another guy, Dr. something or other. He was like a big time fucking stock operator for years, and talked to him recently. Okay, so a few things here. Someone just asked in the Discord, they said, am I dumb for wanting to buy calls here with time on SPY? Is it dumb to do that? No. Or you guys, I guess you have to ask a question like, how deep can we go? How deep is your love? Hey, we could probably trade 600. Let me ask you this question. If you're going to buy calls with time, let me put it a different way to you. If you're going to buy calls with time, can your buying calls with time withstand a trip to, let's call it 590 or 5600? Let me ask you a better way to ask you that. Will your calls withstand that test of time? So first off, if I was going to buy calls with time on them, I would probably try to buy them on a capitulation moment. No, I probably wouldn't buy those calls. What I would try to do is sell puts, as this guy was just talking about, with enough time on them. So if you were to sell puts against SPY, let's say we're at the low of that big, so we have a capitulation moment, right? Major capitulation, seasonal capitulation in a bull or bear market. We're theoretically still in a bull market here, right? So if you were to sell, the low was like 632. If on that capitulation moment you sold puts for an expiration date on when you would expect a market high, when is that? It's usually mid-July, yeah. Or we go, well, I shouldn't say that. It's mid to late June, and then we start flattening if we're in a bull market. The other time you'd look to sell those puts for would be when? Maybe like January 1. So you'd hope for that. You're the guy at the end of the year going, give me that center rally. And so an even bigger question is, okay, so I'm not going to buy calls with time on them. Maybe I'm going to sell some puts against SPY with some time on them. I'm going to try to time it on a seasonal low. And then I want to close them out higher than, if we're at 635, you want to be higher than 635 come middle of summer or even more time into the fall or in the winter, right? And you also have to make sure that you're willing to own that stock, right? Or that index. And maybe there's some stocks out there that are easier than SPY. I always trade Clorox back in the day. Clorox was the kind of stock where only every once in a while did it blast to the downside. And when it did, you would sell puts against it, and you could hold that shit for months. So I think Zig was just saying that. A few of those things. He was saying, first, find a stock that is relatively stable. Usually it's a Dow company, and usually it's not a Dow company that is famous for the wrong reasons. Like maybe Nike falls in and out of favor. Nike had this big plan at one point to have their own stores, direct-to-consumer stuff. Nike is still kind of a really publicish, flashy. Even though it's not flashy, it's still kind of flashy. Clorox bleach isn't. When was the last time you heard bad news about Clorox bleach? Never. So you find a company that's a Dow company, Fortune 500 type company, might be even easier than SPY, right? SPY's got some, it's not got a ton of volatility like NASDAQ, but unless you wouldn't mind owning the SPY or SPOOs or whatever. So if you're going to do that, like buy calls with long enough time on them, you just have to ask a bunch of those questions I asked you, or even better, sell puts, because if you end up having to buy that fucking thing or own it, it's not so bad owning it, is it? You can recoup your losses at some point. Plus, you get a dividend and all that other stuff. But there's other better things to do that against. That's a good question, and we're listening to it right now. This is writing cash secured puts at expiration, and on the biggest down. And he's talking about March. I wasn't listening as closely to this as he was speaking, but it's a good question. No, I was looking at what Winky was saying. I got Winky's posts up here. I'm reading through Winky's stuff right now. As a matter of fact, I follow what Winky says. Winky's one of the best stock pickers I've ever met in my life. Period. So, I want to look though at Nike. I'll say that. There's a few things here. Let's look at a few things here. I was just looking at silver really quick. I want to see silver go up there and trade that. I want to see silver at least try to trade $69, or at least go back up there to. Let's go get silver really quick. Here's silver. I was looking at it too. Man, I don't think silver's going to crater, even if this is distribution here. Big old bear flag, bro. I still don't think it's going to be that easy. So I think like instigating, as long as this holds right here, instigating some kind of a trade higher to at least 69.70. And I would like leave runners on, or maybe leave a little extra room for a breakout up here. I wouldn't like give this silver like, oh my God, it's going to crash down here and we're just out of here. Nothing. I know everybody thinks it's elevator down. It is elevator down, but you need things, mechanical things to happen, technical things to happen. So I think like, hey, I'm long here. As long as I'm not making a new low and I'm getting sent down, this is your stops. This is your amount. I think that's a fine trade, and at least to close the gap up here. And you're sitting well to leave risk on if you choose to or not, or take the second part of the trade. There's another way to trade this too, where you get long with the stops. You get out in here, and if you see the cup and handle, and then we do a quick correction in here and we hold. If the hourly chart comes back up, you can continue the trade up into the 80s, or not 80s, but like 78 or something like that, because there is a larger retracement above here. There is a bigger cup and handle here, and we are putting in series of new higher lows. So I think silver's fine. There's risk in there, but you got to manage the risk as it comes. We got to look at Nike. Whew. Nike, what are you doing? My God, Nike. What's fascinating about this move here is what? Where are we going to? 2016, right? Is it 2016 right here? You know what's fascinating about this? Why right here? If we look at it on, I believe, a weekly, but it might be more. No, hold on. See if I get this right here. Yeah, no, it's not that one. It's not that one either. Let's look at the month. What was I looking at it on? Hold on here. Was it the week? Yeah, it's this one. This is 2015. Yep, September 2. This one right here. This is the one I want to look at. This wick right here. This started the whole thing right here. See that wick? This bad boy right here. Oh, it's a big old boy right there. Now, is Nike going bankrupt? No. This is accumulation. This is distribution. We're going to look at something here. I don't talk about this as much as I should. I used to talk about it more. One of the things about whack off or wick off, whack off distribution, it's oftentimes used inappropriately. It's oftentimes used as memes, which is great. It's oftentimes misinterpreted. But I do like whacking off. And I'm gonna show this to you really quick, if I can. I think I can. Can I show this maybe? Or over there? And that didn't really show it. This isn't doing well. Hold on here. Maybe I got to move this over there. And we're gonna look at accumulation. So this is an accumulation chart just above, right there. And this is the distribution phase down here. And so let's think that maybe we're somewhere in here. Oh, sorry, damn it. We're somewhere in this final phase, aren't we? Or we would think maybe we're there. I also want you to think about the amount of time you're going to be spending down here. Even if you time the falling knife correctly, you could spend a lot of time down here, right? What's fascinating about this is even when you're down here, you finally hit your bottom, you should see a bounce, right? See how violent this is going straight down? And notice how there's no more violence in there. We just start going sideways. One of the coolest parts about distribution is you don't necessarily have to be the first guy to do the accumulating. You're just looking for this stuff down here. You see this? You're looking for you're looking for a low, then the final low. So you got the low, new low, right? And you're like, oh my God, Kappa, that's usually bearish. Yeah, it is bearish. But if you don't see that final exhaustion anymore, this is the exhaustion phase right here.
They also discussed the
you can't take this leg down for more until you see that. So if you see the pop up, whoop, even on the new low, you are then starting to look for newer highs. But the second key takeaway is takes time, right? For this ramp-o-rama to go up. So you have like time on your side, and you have the ability to not have to like die in a sword. So if you get something like this, we bounce, we come down, and hey, you got a new low. Oh my God, Cap says go down, but you don't actually see the fatigue or the exhaustion candle. You actually see a big ramp up here. And then all of a sudden, you're right back down. And you're like, oh my God, we got the no exhaustion candle. And we start marking out that second new low right there. And this is where the accumulation really begins, somewhere in this vicinity right here. That's why you always hear me say, like, I want to see the exhaustion candle. If I don't see the exhaustion candle, we can check again for it. But if I don't see it, I need to see that exhaustion candle. And I need to see, like, they're tired. Oh my God, they didn't make the new high. We're starting to break down below, and I'm short right here. And that's where the money is. And that's the meat and the body of the continuation to the downside. Now, I want to show you some other things here, too. What does this look like? I'm going to show you what this looks like here. And then let's look at this. that look familiar?
Ukraine's President Zelensky says the Ukraine can help partners to support Hormuz.
Looks familiar, right? Pretty familiar, right? Probably a lot of bears in here saying, well, it's we're not done here yet. We're gonna smash into this right here, right? Take out that demand, and then we're getting another cup and handle down here. We don't know that yet, do we? We don't know if they're gonna do an exhaustion candle here and fail and continue down. And we don't even need to care if we stop here. If we go up, though, right, we don't actually do an exhaustion candle. We start putting in higher highs, maybe put in one more low. There's actually time for you to start accumulating here. I don't know if you can see that, but wait a minute. What am I doing here? Come on now. Says chat box is open. There we go. If you maybe you get what I'm saying over here. But let's switch back over here really quick. Oh, God damn it, I'm moving this stuff back and forth. What I would say about this, and I want to show you this too. You have the up, down, and then it gets even uglier, right? You see that uglier phase E down here? This is the oh my God phase. It's all over and it's not. Right, that's pretty bad, right? We do this whole phase right here. This is kind of where we are right here, right? We're like, you are here. And we don't know if there'll be more. That would be a mess, wouldn't it? And we'll talk more about this part in just a moment, but I'll post a link to this inside of the Discord for you. So you can look deeper into this. But the one thing I would say to you is don't be like the new trader that's like, I live and die by this now. It's more of like an outline and some key points that matter on this kind of stuff. And let's just look, see if I can copy this. I'll get rid of this. I'll post in the Discord. So let's go back and look at catching knives. And when to catch knives. Who's good at catching knives? Winky is good at catching knives. So you want to observe. I think Winky gave you some targets down here. You want to observe what's going on here. You don't necessarily want to buy that dip. But I bet that Winky's watching it closely. And because there's more here to it. You can just get rid of this. You have the instigation of the trade right here. This is at 41.19, right? So you're just watching at this moment. The easy trade, of course, is, oh my God, it's time to start accumulating. Like we hit this, and it's like that's like a no-brainer, right? But you can get trapped in there, and if it's not enough, you end up going downtown, right? And that's the real capitulation down there. And they start wiping out all this stuff. Look at this stuff here. Like they can wipe all of this out, believe it or not. Just when you don't think that can happen, it can. Hold on here. And I got some news on this really quick here. So the point would be is not necessarily you have to buy here. You can either have a plan to add here and then maybe add down in the 20s. You could do something like that and like catch it all the way up in DCA. I don't particularly like that, but and I don't think that there won't be a bounce here. There's a tactical trade in there too. But you have to be cautious of it being a fake bounce, right? And then we like fail this, then we're going back down. You can be like, yeah, I'm just doing just a tactical bounce. That makes sense to me. That'll bounce there. But the greater point here on accumulation and distribution is, are you able to identify that it bounced and that this was Did I just lose the stream? I think I just lost the stream. Son of a bitch. Let me see if I lost the stream. I hope I didn't lose the stream. Okay, we're back again. Sweet. So when you're down here, you just observe, you know. All you're doing is observing. It's just like we're observing SPY right now, right? We're just watching SPY. Are we taking longs here? Fuck no. We're just watching to see if we can tag that high, right? Do you get the new intraday high or not? When we're coming down here like so, right? You just need to observe. You just need to see, like, do we get the buyers? And even if you do, let's say it goes all the way up here and just moonshots, like, oh man, I missed it again. You're still going to spend time down here. And sometimes you'll put that new low in, and sometimes you actually won't. I've seen this often where you don't, it just bounces. Now I'm on an hour or on a big time frame here, but it doesn't really matter. If this was a smaller time frame, I'm trying to use this as a example, but even if you just see a low and then a series of lows over time, you can, like, there's plenty of time for you to get in for this eventual turnaround on Nike. Now let's look at this thing right here. This is ugly, right? Imagine getting stuck in this. This is $10.51. That can never happen. Sure it can. It can even happen for a brief moment. It can be like a market moment where you're adding the dip down here, you fail, and then all of a sudden it's a bloodbath. And then you're like, oh, this really sucked, right? Forget this timeline here. We're not trying to look at this bullshit on a weekly basis, but I do want you to see this wick right here. I do want you to see this accumulation. And we're going to find out what this is about. Is that right? August 2015, Nike. Nike sharpens its retail edge. The company says it has redone the store to showcase its innovative products. And it's a dedicated, like, everything I'm reading here is all like stuff, like cool shit that they're doing. Stepped up its spending on DTC efforts. There are now 832 Nike locations, up from 768 a year ago. This is back in 2015, right when this thing popped. They were in a huge growth phase. I've heard this story from Nike before. While there's certainly no shortage of competition, including very real pressure under Under Armour, Nike is one of the few retailers like Ralph Lauren that manages to keep its edge. Are we talking about that in Nike right now? Because I'm going to tell you the story that I have on Nike right now as we come down here. I'm going to read this to you really quick. Nike turnaround does not appear imminent. UBS Research. Analyst Jay Soul still doesn't see a reason to buy Nike here. He thinks the stock likely pulls back in the near term as the street significantly revises down EPS estimates on commentary around Q4 26 and first half 27. Plus, the stock is not cheap at 33 times Jay's fiscal year 27 EPS. From here, sales growth could get less bad given weak fourth quarter 26 sales guide, and momentum could build into the fall analyst day. However, there have been many points over the last 4 years where it seemed like the business would inflect over the next 12 months, yet it still hasn't happened. And Jay thinks fiscal year 26 EPS is likely to regress to a level not seen in over 10 years. That's 2015, right? August 2015. This is a show me story, and Jay hasn't seen enough from the company to believe a turnaround is imminent. Let's look at their fundamentals. Let's see if Jay is lying to us. Maybe he wants to gobble it all up. Now let's look at the financials. Yeah, messy. Forecast. It's a buy right now. How about $23? Is it a buy? The low on this is $23. Let me just check one more. Revs are looking good right now. Should I show you guys this or no? But they're pretty standard right now. I'm looking at the quarterly revenues. They're fairly consistent. They're rising slightly. Let me show you this really quick. Let's see what Jay's talking about here. This is Nike revenues. This is Q3 25, Q4 25, Q1 26. They go up. Q2 they go up. So you could get a surprise beat up here, but then they kind of like what's his name? Leon Stagnetti. They're a little bit Leon Stagnetti in here. Q3, Q4. But this lends itself to that Wyckoff accumulation, right? You're like buying for this Q2 2026. This is, of course, the report is in late summer. We're in the seasonal lows right now for Nike, so this makes sense that Winky's saying look for a low to buy. We don't know how high it's going to go, though, too, right? You price this in, and then it's a slow decline again into probably January, March here of next year. So I could see why he's saying, Jay's saying, yeah, you might be able to buy a dip in here, but it's going to come back down, and we're going to spend some time down here. So I think that sounds reasonable. It doesn't mean there's no tactical trading in here. Earnings per share, Q1 2026. Woo! This report comes out soon, right? If not already. And then we got this one right here. So this is the big boy right here. We're going to price this in. This is pretty good. Their earnings per share expect to be high, but then down again into end of year, and then up again into January of 2027. So fundamentally, Nike doesn't look too bad to start some kind of an accumulation. But the bigger question is, how high does it go? Oh, wait a minute. Here, hold on. Sorry, I'm having wonkiness here. Let's give a big, fat, round number to look at. Let's look at a couple things here. Hold on. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, like $40. Hang tight a second here. I'll show you where I think Winky's better than me at this, so bear with me on this. But hold on here, I got some wonky shit going on. Let's see where I'm interested. Come on, a little bit higher. Right there, a little bit higher. Right there. That's where I'd become interested. $40, just a nice big fat round number. And $39.70. Put an alert. Or no, I'm going to do a little bit higher just to 42.5 is where I'm going to start the alert. And I actually want to see price break through this. What's going on? Why is my alert not showing up? I don't know why I'm not able to put an alert on this. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Okay, I'm having technical issues right now. There we go. Price crossing down. Horizontal line. No, not the triggers. I just want the horizontal line. That works for me. Create alert. So I got alert right here. Now, I know you might accumulate above, but I'm not actually looking to accumulate this. I'm hoping for a smash through this and then a turn somewhere in here. Crossing down, horizontal line, create. This one yellow. This one green. I don't have an alert down here, but if I wanted a ticket somewhere in there. We're using Wyckoff stuff here too, right? We're going to target 50. Actually, lower than that. It's right there. It is right there. Let's look at this now. Let's look at this now with a bunch of stuff here. And these are year candles, by the way. I really want to pay. You want to see this right here? I want to see this. Do you see this yellow line right here? And this wick right here. See where my alerts are here? I want to pay very close attention to this year candle right here. So this is a 1 year chart. And I definitely don't want to fuck around down here, do I? This is kind of like it right here. You see it? This 1 year. 6 months. And I want to pay attention to that year candle if I am going to buy a dip here. In case we do sweep underneath this stuff. If we start losing this 39, we start hitting like 37 and a half, we have more open to go down in here. And not only that, there's another layer right here. This is 33, 31. We could grind down here and see another low down here. So I got to be careful of this one right here. This is discount. 3 month. It's a big move up there. $87. Price target 87. I see the price targets on the targets are up here for 3 months. On the fundamental shit I was looking at earlier. Let's look at this. This is your 1 month telling you no. You also have this violence coming down right here on a monthly. We'll slap this one into start. This is the fuck you shall not pass and you'll accumulate line right here.
EU's Callas says we must scale up EU's SPD's naval mission. We cannot afford to lose another critical trade route. So again, Callas says we can't afford to lose another critical trade route.
Monitor yearly candles. On a week. All I want is this one right here. I guess I can do all three of them. Right here, and this one right here. This is a big fuck you up here. What's his name? Aaron or something? Like, I don't know if I'd be buying. I don't know if I'd be buying it yet. I bet he's lying. I bet he's here to play ping pong and accumulate, and he wants you to buy it at a much higher price. And all we have to really worry about is this like 37.5. It's like basically $37. Put a question mark on there so I can go back and check if we go down here and fuck around. Gives me an out, gives me a way to manage this trade. I don't want this fucking thing trading down here to the 30s. It'd be ugly and a mess. Let's go to the day. I'm gonna start planning here. This is fuck you zone. No. Hey, look at me. I got it right there. It's almost perfect. Look at that. It's a near perfect strike right there. You see that? Oh, I wonder why. This is the day. This is where we think bottom is an accumulation of some kind. It's probably not going to be that crazy. Their ERs. We've got some ERs to price in. We got a bad ER that just took place. Our next ER is right over here. Our anticipated ER. We've got two big. We have. I don't know where their next ER is. I could figure that out, but for right now, there is the expectation that we're going to price in these next two reports from the fundamentals that I showed you. That their revs and their not just their revs, but their profits should be higher for this report and this report. And then they're supposed to come back down again. Then you can buy the dip again down here in next year. So at least fundamentally, this makes sense. Some kind of like drag it out, and then it's kind of a lift up. So you're trying to add for this. This is your June 25th ER report. And we just talked about seasonal highs, late June, early July. So you'd think here this is, let's call this middle of July. Even if we're going to get calls or whatever, or sell puts for later, let's call this middle of July. Right in there. Something like this. Monitor yearly candles in case we get any kind of shanking and blood down here. Let's look on a 4-hour basis, see what we can see. Kind of like this right here. You got a bunch of like, you shall not pass up here. And this does show that you should be trying to get the best price you can to some extent. There are a fuck ton of sellers here in the intraday. Let's go this one down here. And this is just an alert for us to kind of get like, there's your hourly trigger trying to pin you in over here. And let's look at a seasonal low. Let's call it worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, like May 1st. And this would be like a bounce on the 15th. See a bounce on the 15th, tax return day. You got May 1st in here. We got some vicious sellers in here. They're mean. Everyone's on board the sell train. It's like squeeze, primed to squeeze. All this can be squeezed. So starting to accumulate in here, and the price target into midsummer, 48.88. Can it go higher? Sure. Can it go up here and close the dip? Sure. The daily trigger is gonna hopefully slow down in here too. A little bit of slowing down in here, right? This is now your top, so it gives extra room up here too. Let's look at this on a daily basis. Let's see what it looks like. That doesn't look like a bottom to me. I don't see any accumulation here. I don't see any accumulation. There's a little bit in here. But there could be new lows in here. Do you see this right here? We have not stopped selling on a monthly basis. We have just gotten started selling on a quarterly basis. This does not look good. Let's see if we have another example of this. Last time we did this was 2003. And actually, it didn't go that deep. Let's look at where we are here on a monthly basis. If this is a little bit overdone or not. Nope. Here's an example in 1985 where it went even lower. So I'm going to mark this one right here just for historical example. Like, there's no way it goes down there, Cap. We're at minus 37 right now. We're going to set an alert here too. This could actually mark the low, its potential. Mark on how crossing down. Great. We're actually going to move it up a little bit. Let's get a little bit of a later alert. We'll get an alert if we hit this one. That could potentially mark the actual bottom of the wick off or whack yourself off or whatever. It seems like pretty key area down here. Get an alert right here. And I also want to set another alert up here. Let me just check something else here. Just marked another low right here. Let's look back in time. Yeah, see, these are a little bit lower. And see this one right here? We're going to go a little bit deeper. How deep is your love? Have examples of hitting this in the past. Put another alert right here. Add an alert on the horizontal line. Create it. Crossing down. Great. Now we got an alert on weekly and monthly. Just some back reminders here in case it pops up. Do I think we go that low? I don't know. There's a little bounce going on in here. Look at this on a 1 hour. Let's see what we got going on here. So for me, I'd like to be a little bit lower down in here. We're pretty close, aren't we? This is a low of 43.17. I have an alert for 42.55. And I think we can actually go up here, bounce around, fuck around in here. It's like some fuck arounds.
On the Strait of Hormuz says
And then you're eventually released. Oh, wait a minute.
To let ships pass.
You're eventually released. This is a big red line right here. We can raise this up if we take out this 4 hour right here. We can start looking at these for more, like even faster to go up here. But for me, this is where I want to be. 42.50. Oh, wait a minute. I don't even need that anymore. That was just the low that was put in. This is what I've got. Down here. Grind. Pop it up again. Maybe one more capitulation down here. Maybe. Price target in middle of summer. I'd call it like middle summer, and you could even put more time on it. Price target $48.76. Now I've got a low expectation here. So if you just want to sell puts on this, I'd be fucking selling puts below $37 all day long. And if you have to end up owning this fucking thing, you're gonna end up owning it at a better price down here in like 33 range. But I like the idea of accumulation down here, and I like the idea of selling puts down below here. I don't think you're going to get this immediately, or at least now for where we are in price. There should be some kind of accumulation. There may be at some point a lower low in fall. You might get something like this in fall because of the idea that you're going to price in these next two ERs, and they're going to price in a bad next two ERs. And then in 2027, you should be able to buy a dip down here in the 30s. And this would kind of fall along that same path. Now, this is like worst case scenario. I'm trying to figure out worst case scenario here. And this kind of falls in line. You see this right here? So you can see this, a higher frame. So you're like leaving the opportunity to get long in here. And then if you get stopped out here to go down, into the end of the year. If that's the case, they're going to price in more doom. If that happens, you'd be right in line with this fucking blood shanking that's going on. This trend, this larger trend. The other thing over here is, let's look at this one. There's a major low right there. If we think this is a major low right here, there it is right there. It's almost near perfect. I didn't even have to fucking look at it. See it right there? That looks fairly right. And then this would be the big buy in here. Once you get past those, get past that shit. Oh, sorry. You'd be expecting like the monster, monster bounces kind of stuff in the future. They can pull their asses out of the. So you get your stop right there, and you finally break above. Before you know it, you get your big W. See your bigger W right here. Up there's your pop and drop up there to 66. Cup and handle over there. I don't know if you can see that, but something like that. You want to snip this? And I want to say something. I will defer to Winky on this because Winky probably has a better idea of this than I do. And he knows Nike well. Probably something like that. Or like worst case scenario. I'm trying to give like worst case scenario here. Did I post that in there? Something like that. It's something like that, I think, at the worst case. And that kind of looks right to me. Like you're fucking around in here, and not only that, it leaves you the ability to trade up here and trying to like just buy this turn up. So there you go. There's your Nike outlook that you wanted. Who wanted the Nike outlook? There's something bigger here too, like the break above. This is like a big no-go zone up here. They're trying to keep us underneath here. Just look at this here. And there's all that right here. All this will be big. Like they're gonna try to keep it down here. And there's a little bit of a pop here too. Up, down, maybe even deeper like this. And you can like start breaking out in a way. Something like that. And the low on this is like 34, maybe 33 or something. And we could spend time in here too. Like they could be like pound, pound, pound. This is the big, like you're not going above this. You can see here's your monthly coming down right here. Here's your quarterly coming down right here. You probably just measure this right here. Kind of see it right there. There's your monthly. Right? Try to pound it, try to fight this monthly. And then what you end up doing is you have like a you have this coming up right here. You have this telling you fuck no. So you're like bam, 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 bam. This one's coming down like this. This one's coming down like this. And there's this like big confluence. Or right back down there. But this is like, there's a lot of violence in here. So you're like trying to pick this up here. Your basis is good. If you break out and start doing that shit, that's great. And the fundamentals kind of agree with this kind of a path here. 2027 better be turning around, and then some kind of a squeeze, or they don't turn shit around and they have nothing new planned, and they go down. You can kind of see that confluence up there, right? If you have triggers and stuff, you can kind of see that as that confluence comes into play of all this kind of stuff. Oh, we got to go back to I'm being asked about the market here. Are we going to be grinding sideways? Let's go back to the market. And what did I say to you earlier in the market? Let's get rid of this for a minute. What did I say to you earlier in the market? I said, you're only watching. I'll say it again. Let's go back to the main screen here. What did I say to you earlier in the show? I said, you're watching for this, even higher. It's like here. We should stop in here, but you're watching basically for this. I'll do it with crayons for you. You're watching to see if we tag this right here. You're not long. You're just watching. And if you tag that, you can buy the dip. You can buy the dip on the half an hour to go higher. The cup and the handle. Make any sense? This is your handle over here. I don't know if you know that, but so was there a trade in here? No, you're just watching. You're just watching to see. You're doing nothing. You're not selling. You're not buying. You're just watching for this to happen that I drew for you right here. If this goes up and slaps this, you can buy the dip on it. You need to be higher than yesterday's high here for a cup and handle. Let me see if I can show this to you in a bigger frame here. So scale out a little bit. I'm going to make it simpler for you. Hold on here. Are we at 2 o'clock yet? No, we are. Hold on. Okay, so we'll just look at candles. That's it, okay? If this is a cup, if this is a cup right here, we did not get high enough. We got really good. You want to see the new high, though. Bink, just the tip. The look above, right? We talk about this all the time. Look above. We didn't see a look above, did we? We got a good push here. So what you want to see here is you want to see a new high, because this can be one trade. Does that make any sense? So you have the prior high right here. It's right there. We haven't hit it yet. So what you'd want to see to take a short-term trade is you would want to see the market pop the high right here. And then on that back test, it's telling you we're bullish. More bullish than these sellers. More, I hate saying this, but for most traders, you just keep it simple. You have the high. If you're able to break the high, the look above, you would want to buy that back test. So let's say it would look more like this. I'll just draw it out for you. You would watch this happen, okay? Let's say we squeeze up here. You'd look for a corrective move. They're normally 2. Yeah. It's normally 2. So you've got the high, right? Ting. Finally. Yay, we got the high. Are you long? No. Are you even trying to make money here? Fuck no. You're not doing anything. You're just sitting here doing nothing. You see this high here, right? This is the corrective move right here. You'd expect this to hold. You now have the hourly trigger underneath you, right? And you can put in, like you make this tag here. You make the new high right here, right? Bam. You got this one right here. We come down and you execute the trade right here. And now you've got a trade. This is money. Oops, sorry. This is where the money is right here. This is where the actual money is. Money is right here. And you put your stops underneath. Stops right here. And you're doing the things you need to do to justify that trade. You're not trying to and here's the other part of this. Let's say this goes like this. Let's say this squeezes up. Wham! And it leaves us behind. It left me behind. I wasn't able to take the trade. Congratulations, you made money. Oh my God, you're the amazing, best trader in the world. Forget about that fucking guy. You want to only taking choice trades that have a very high probability of making you money. And not only that, if they fail, you know where to exit. Picking a trade like, oh yeah, we're going up here and I'm long, and you get flushed, and you get flushed, and you get flushed. And now you're like, oh, so he said it was going up. Does that make any sense? Let me explain it better to you here. So if you have an intraday trade, you have to have this happen, that happen to do that trade. I really don't give a fuck if it just squeezes. I want nothing to do with it. I can jump back in. Let's say I miss this trade right here and it goes up. Say it just blasts, rips faces off here, comes back down for something short. It leaves me behind. Way up here. Way up here. Now I'm just waiting for two highs. And I'm doing the same process that I'm doing over here. And I'm in more relative safety. I missed this original slam up, but I'm buying in. Fucking great price. Half the trade. I'm in relative safety. I got the hourly trigger above me. I got the daily underneath me. I'm not taking any fucking risk. I'm not imagine living and dying by that day in, day out, day in with all your money. This is all I'm doing, day trading. And it's bad news. It's fucking horrible news. So you're just watching. The idea here is that you just watch this. You're looking for this to happen in a corrective move to be supported to take the bigger trade to the upside. All right, let's do something else. Or let's do this in the same topic. So how are we going to go up there? I want to make money right now. No, you can't. I'm going to tell you no. I'm going to tell you why, too. You just got told no up here. You just had a tactical bounce over here, right? Tactical bounce, you just got told no here. You've got no new fucking high. You do have some of this momentum on your side on an hourly basis. And we already fucking know that this is danger zone. This is where FOMO lives. I can't say it enough. And not only that, you think you're getting one over on the market. Like, oh, bro, I fucking called it. I'm such a fucking rock star. I'll show you what a rock star is. A fucking rock star waits until you're above the daily trigger. That's a rock star right here. Woo! Not this. I called it right there, bro. I don't give a fuck about that. I give a fuck about calmness, back testing, beautiful, easy money. Easy money. Selling puts to suckers, selling puts to suckers, selling puts to suckers, selling puts to suckers all day. I'm calling the top, bro. Calling the top, bro. It's so much easier. Let's go look back here. So it's the end of the day, right? We have what? What do I say to you every day? We got a 4-hour candle in the morning. We got a 4-hour candle in the afternoon. We got a daily and a daily low and a daily high, right? Trying to stay inside of that if you're a bull, break below it if you're a bear, break above it if you're a bull. You have like expected moves in a day, and you've got two candles inside of that. Those two daily bookends. You've got two 4-hour candles. So we even have the start of a new candle right now. And let's look at this really quick on a higher frame. So We had some bad shit happen here, right? We had some bad fucking shit happen here. And this isn't pretty, right? That's ugly right there. You want to buy a sweep in these lows? Sure. But there's the moves are already made, I guess is a better way to say this. So let's look at the weekly. Let me show you some fucking doom. How's that? How's this? Are you looking lower? Market's telling you to look lower right now. This is your weekly expectations after that drop last night. Is anyone here in this audience? Anyone?
Crude May futures settle at 111.
Anyone in this audience between now and the end of the week on a short week, even considering that this could happen?
$11.42 or 11.41%.
Like crater, 603, 611. Anybody out there at all thinking that?
Cents a gallon. Gasoline May futures.
Trump comes out tomorrow. We just started the invasion. Started the invasion.
Settle at $2.
Thank you very much. That would suck, wouldn't it?
Settles above $110 a barrel for the first time since.
Like easier trades in here, aren't there? We got another one over here. Let's keep that one because that's the doorway to downstairs. This one right here. Safety for the Bulls. Fucking bear time, baby. That's what the Bears want. This is what the tactical bouncers want. Matter of fact, tactical fucking bouncers last night said, "Futs top fucking tick." And these guys are trying to do, I'm going to tell you exactly what they're trying to do right now. JPM, right there. That's what JPM's trying to do to you. A big force in the market. Largest bank in the world. These guys don't give a fuck. They just want the best price to get this right here. This is what JPM's plan is, right? I'm going to tell you right now. Right there. Is that your plan? That's their plan. Here is the day here. And look at all this. I mean, just look at all this. I want you to think to yourself, like, I want you to think to yourself. Just look at this chart here. Can you imagine the number of fucking traders that you encounter everywhere you go? And I want you to think to yourself, just look at this chart. Are those, how many traders do you hear like the noise? I don't know, I'm scared. No, I'm not scared. Think about that logic. Like, I'm scared as fuck, not scared at all. There's literally someone here telling you, fuck you, you're going down. Fuck you, you're going down. And you're the Marine. You know, ask a Marine what it's like to be a Marine. It sucks. Brutal life. And eventually, you're the last guy at the table, right? Any of you ever served? Any of you guys served more than one tour? You're the only guy at the table at some point, right? The table that you sit in and eat in gets smaller and smaller because you stop trusting people. We haven't been through enough shit with enough people. Same thing here. You know, you're like fighting something that you don't have to. And there's safer bets above, and there's safer bets below. Right now, at this moment, at least for today, for where we are in today. Now, I want you to also think about something else. Where on a daily basis, this is all the bulls need to hold.
So, reminder: in about 6 minutes' time, we're expected to hear from the Yemen Houthis.
And there's a trap down there for the bulls. Look at that trap down there. There's a little sneaky trap on the weekly. Like all of a sudden, the bull's like, okay, I'm down here. Everything looks hunky-dory. Oh, I triggered that. And we exhausted all of a sudden. Maybe like safe down here, right? Careful as fuck down here. You might even need to see it improve if we go down here before we even start along again. There's like a lot of traffic, a lot of volatility. And I got to be in the bottom down here. You don't really, I mean, I got a bottom ticket, top ticket. I'm not really a fan of, I'm not a fan, or that you can't put a little bit of risk on that, but Let's start looking at this on a lower level. Hey, check it out. There's a trap for bulls in here. Bulls need to hold this one, but if we were to trade down here, we don't get the new high for the cup and handle. Even if we do, even if we got that cup and handle, I would expect that trade to go down here. Trigger that down here, and that's your bottom. That's what I think. I think you can even do the cup, and even if you don't do the cup and handle, it'll likely come down here, slam through this, suck you in, and then you take the trade down here. So if you're a bull, where are you at? Down here. That's where you're at right now. You're down here. And remember, this morning we're talking, or the overnight, or even an opening bell. Oh my God, the bulls are fucked, right? All of a sudden now the bulls aren't fucked. And, you know, how about down there? The bulls fucked again, and then you're not buying a dip on a recovery. So, you know, you're like being whipsawed back and forth. Whipsaw, 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 whipsaw. Wrong side of the trade. I just got blown up. I'll be back in a month when I make some more money. I'm going to go back to Wendy's. I'm going to fucking start shoveling fries in the bag. And you shouldn't have to do that. You could take one trade a year and increase your net worth. That's a near perfect trade, or at least the best you can have. And you're trading day in, day out, all day long, and asking, are we going to break out here? Observe is the key here, to observe. So let's look at the 4-hour over here. There's a 4-hour right here, and I don't think this thing matters. I think it matters down here. You're gonna hit this. You hit this white line right here. It's gonna be party time. There's your daily. We'll shank this fucker right down to the depths of hell on us. Down here, all for 2 minutes of fame. Woo! Yeah, baby. Oh my God, my shit's on fire. Like fighting resistance up here. There's just note there's a 4-hour down here and a 1-hour. And there is potential for coming down here, popping this up, taking this trade quickly. Now you have your cup. Now you have your handle. You got the new high. Look at how this thing could work. Like, I want to show you how this actually could play out. Some ways that this could play out. So let's say we go all the way down here, right? Let's say we go all the way down here. We even trigger this. We go all the way up here to the first actual new high. Only on this back test would I take that trade. I would take this one part of it right here. So no trade for me right now at this moment. At this moment, for me at least. And what are the expectations into the end of the day? Let's look at the 4-hour really quick. You're starting a new 4-hour candle here. This candle can fucking, this 4-hour can go all the way down here. Theoretically, and still be bullish for that quick trade. Whatever that fuck that is. I know I'm not going to draw it properly right now, but so just be careful of this. And also be careful that this 1-hour trigger in this daily low, you know, all of a sudden you're at the end of the day, and all of a sudden you're underneath the daily low. They suck you in. We get the close. You're underneath the hourly in the half an hour. It's shanked down to tomorrow. That'd piss me the fuck off. I'd be so pissed. Short week. So this is what I have. I'll show you what I have.
Surely expect to hear from the Houthi spokesman.
Who is that? Oh, I gotta turn this off. I'm not gonna turn it off. I'm just gonna leave it up in the background. Immediate reopening of Strait of Hormuz demanded at 40 nation talks. I bet. They could have fun doing that too, the 40 nations. Hope that pressure is on Iran and not us. Oh, I'm just trying to look at something here. 30 minutes. Hourly velocity, not on your side. Half hour is pretty good. 15's a little overdone, not quite. Be a pop and drop in here on a half an hour, but the hourly looks like shit. I like to buy I like to buy dips like this on these lows on the hour. I like the idea of this improving, this daily improving here, but I still love buying dips down here. Still love buying fucking shit like that and shit like this right in here. Just a bunch of new coming off lows, a little bit higher for a squeeze. I don't like this coming down off a peak right now. Now let's see how many times we continued to go down. Let's count them. You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. In a row.
The statement's been released. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong this time we go up here. I'd rather take my chances with the 13 out of the one time. So the expectation, right, or at least what am I looking for here, or the plan for me, right, is I've got my high over here. I'm aware of a cup and handle trade above, and I can trade that to 2, right? And I've already got rules for how to trade that. But without that trade already there, I am looking for what? What am I looking for here? I'm looking for down. I'm looking for, here's the high right here. I'm looking for at least somewhere down in here. At least in here. This is where's Friday? I'm sorry, this is Thursday. Let's wake up on Monday. Down there, at least. Now, this is dotted line. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm looking for right there. For me. And I'm even willing to put this one in here. I'll raise this up. So this one right here. And I'm also looking to go no lower than like 37.5. I'm even willing to go that deep right here. Even willing to go down here if I have to. Even with beating this one here. I'll give the bulls one more. This will be the deepest. Now, let me talk to you about the other thing here. There are traders out there that are like, hey, we're going to wake up on Monday and the market is going to be moon. And I missed the trade. What we're going to do is we're going to come into the close. We're going to park right here. We're going to park right here. I'm going to come in on Monday. I'm going to miss the trade. And I really want you to think about... Hold on here. I think I got to reset this thing. What I really want to think about here is you don't need to be the fucking guy that jumps on the fucking hand grenade. Like if you bought down here and you wake up with a squeeze on Monday, awesome. But you wake up on a Monday and it's down here, your basis over here is pretty good. Well, let's say you wake up on it's down here. There's probably people buying cheap puts for Monday, right? They're long down here. They're buying cheap puts. They're already long. They buy some zero, or not zero dates today, but from like Monday zeros that are like 10 cents or something. If the market goes up, they don't care. They made a bunch of money. If the market goes down, they're break even to the downside. And we're like trying to get like, I need to be the king of the squeeze over the weekend over here. You really don't. Like this comes back down again. Daily trigger's coming up. I can jump right on that trade. Easy peasy. The real problem here is you come into the 15th. And it's more like this. You're like gunning up for the squeeze, and instead you come back on Monday and it's blooding down here. Your calls are fucked. This guy's like, hey, just DCA'd down here. Great, buying it up. All of a sudden, the 15th, you're back down even lower. So I would much rather have the squeeze happen and attempt to get long up here, save my bank account, I don't have to make this big decision. I think being the guy down here, and the guy above here is way better than I'm going in, bros. Live and die by the sword. Personally, at least. And the hourly is not on your side here right now. The hourly is telling you got one more down to go over here. At minimum. One more down to go. And these guys over here aren't fucking around. These guys already sold it. So even if we're up here, there's going to be guys with wanting to pound this squeeze down unless the war ends. And if the war ends, you can always jump back in. And I probably want to talk to you right now about oh, sorry. I'll put this thing back in here. This is what I think happens. This is all part of one trade. And I think he gets sucked in here and down here. Yeah, and you finally do the breakout up here. If this holds. So this is my expectation into the weekend. Now, I do want to talk to you about living and dying by that sword. And like the need to like do that big squeeze trade. If you need to take, sorry, I'm on the wrong screen here with my cursor. If you do need to take this trade over Monday, just make sure it's cheap. Make sure it's cheap. Make sure it's like not your whole account, not 10% of your account, like 1%. If you have a small account, there are easier trades than this trade for a squeeze up over the weekend. And I really, it's not, what time is it right now? It's almost 3 p.m. What I'm really afraid of here is even if you get the cup and handle, you still get sucked down in here. So you get the cup, or you get the high, then you get the cup into the close, or something like that, and you're right back down into Monday. And the reason why I'm afraid of this Monday too is because of what takes place over this weekend. Last night, I think this is a fucking trap and you're going to get plunged. Trump last night to me was speaking to our armed services. They were speaking to the coalition of 40. And they were speaking to Iran, and he was speaking to Iran. And I really do think that potentially last night we were supposed to have an invasion of some kind. And he was going to come and talk about that last night. And he has been doing those things today. He blew up a bridge today, I think, or something. Threatened more destruction. You're now triggering capitulation by Europe, Asia, Australia, the UAE to step in, Saudi Arabia to step in. So you have the moving part of them stepping in, and you have Trump just hammering, in the United States hammering Iran into submission. That's what's going on. I do expect over this weekend that you're going to see, and I want to tell you something else I told you earlier. There are civilian intel that says that we are moving troops into the Middle East at a size and a clip that's like the Iraq War. Even if you're not being told that publicly on the mainstream news, that is happening. And I'm not just talking about tip of the spear. Like, we are moving people there like crazy. More than you think. So like you wake up over the weekend and it's, hey, we did this, we got this thing going on with a replacement regime. We got that moving part. We got another moving part with we're taking beaches and islands, and we're in Tehran, we're installing new leadership. And any one of those things goes wrong, or Tehran has like a dead man switch of some kind, and things go horrible, you're gonna be fucked. If this war expands over this weekend or next week or even into the following week, I think there's a lot of danger. I'm very afraid of that here, extremely afraid of this here. Like, it starts popping and then you get sucked down into this. So the only thing I'll leave you with here today into this long weekend is be extremely careful. Extremely careful. I don't think that the start of an expanded war signifies the bottom of the market just yet. It's close. You really truly need you need capitulation by Iran, like true capitulation. You need the coalition of the whoever the fuck they are, 40 nations or some shit like that. You need them to be intervening. You need to put them to put all their troops on the ground and sing Kumbaya. And that may happen, but if it doesn't, if it all falls apart over the weekend, or any series of major things goes wrong, I don't even want to mention what they are on this stream, but if they were, it could be ugly. And the U.S. is not used to that. The U.S. is not used to losing lots of people or big things and stuff like that. And this is not Iraq. Like this is Iran. Iran is like Israel. These fucking guys, they would rather go on a street and both die. And they think this is their time. So you have like the Israeli thing, you've got the Houthis thing, and you've got the dead man switch of Iran over the weekend. So for me, at least, I would prefer to get the squeeze. Everything's rah 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 over the weekend. The war's ended, and jump on board on Monday, or even buy that dip, the pullback on that, and you have a nice, great summer. We're up and out of here all the way, and you got plenty of time. It's not like you're going to come in on Monday and everything is awesome, and you're not going to get a chance to buy that dip to go higher. So I think that's the only thing I have to say on that topic. I would love to see I really truly think that if you get the cup and handle in here, you get this move right here, right, all the way up here, you get your high, something like this, bunch of exuberance, and then you're back here on Monday like this, right down into the bottom. That's what I think. Now, if I'm wrong, I would say do it really cheaply. If you're hell-bent, war's going to end over the weekend, there's going to be a truce, and Cap sucks, he's wrong, he fucking blows, he's always too conservative, whatever it is you want to say about being conservative into this weekend, at least be able to lose the money on the bet that we go up. At least be like, hey, I come back on Monday, I got torn up, we're bleeding, we're in shits. I wouldn't necessarily buy puts here, but I would be putting on new risk would be, I would buy 0-day puts here if you need to hedge yourself. But if you don't, if you're just riding dirty, I think it's an easy way to get sent packing. And it sucks to get set to be being set packing. Anyways, that's my 2 cents into the close today. And not only that, you got this big dude. This thing is vicious. Vicious. So anyways, we'll go back here. There's 1 minute. We'll start looking at this again. Into the close. This looks so bullish right now. Extremely bullish into the bell. Here are your daily sellers right here. I hate saying this stuff because if I come back and it's mooning on Monday, they're gonna say, "See, that guy is always too conservative." But I would prefer to take my chances with easier trades, especially with the volatility that we're seeing right now. And I think that Trump was probably the less amount of information he gave last night. He was telling you more than you think. I took him as very serious last night. For the first time, I think I took him serious. I think he means annihilation. I think he does. So we got this one right here. This is your first one. Just check this. This one looks higher, but I think this is part of another one right here, but or this is 1, 2, 3, and then this is, unless that's your 4 down there, and this is your 5, and even then it's not that high. You still have to deal with these guys right here. And then corrective move. I think they flush you in here. There. You break that low right there. And I think you're down here. So you can see it. And you got these guys up here too. We got to watch those guys. Watch those guys right there. Where's that prior high? This is where I'd be getting long, is off this one right here. After you hit this one. I want to send the Marines in. I want the Marines to take me up here, tag that fucking thing, and let me buy the back test off it. Let's see where they are. Oh, these fuckers are right here. Look at them. That's right, down. Well, no, I'm bullish on the close. When I say I'm extremely bullish on the close, I'm saying they pop this up to get the supply to sell into your ass. That's what I mean by it. Like I'm bullish on you slamming into these guys. That's what I mean. Yeah, you know why I'm extremely bullish on close? So they can sell right the fuck into you. That's where I am, up here trying to sell into you. I need to be lower. I need to be lower. I need to be much higher. I need to break through all this bullshit, or I need to be much, much lower. And I think the easier trade is much lower. So, I mean, here we go. There's party time down there. Party time. I'll take the. I'll send the Marines in first, and then I'll jump in, clean, and do the operation cleanup. Yeah, we got jobs. We got NFP tomorrow too. Thanks, Upland Group, for saying something. We got all kinds of reports tomorrow. I see it lower. I see it fucking lower. I don't see it higher. I see the succubus into the depths of hell. Now, I don't like the cup in hand. I like the cup in hand for like a short-term trade, but I either like it much lower or I like the safety above. So I'm not a fan here of putting on a bunch of fucking risk into like a fucking 3-day weekend and fucking waking up on Monday. I can see the tease of it. Like, I would dangle that fucking sausage in front of your face all day long, fucking like the meme or whatever from Game of Thrones. You want the sausage? It's right here. Look at how bullish it looks. I'm not saying it doesn't work every once in a while, but not with enough edge for me. So. No, it's not quite closed. We're open on Friday for like a bunch of reports, and futures markets are open, I think. Let me look here. Hang tight. Like I checked to see if we were getting NFP, but we are. Let me just check the calendar here. The holiday stock market holiday calendar. I'll read it off to you guys. Thanks for saying something. Now I know who the fuck is sitting on. Now I know who the fuck is sitting on Wall Street Bets, fucking all weekend long, stressing. Like, why, dude? You guys don't take your 3-day weekends? Like, the stock market's not closed that much. And you guys are all like, I live and die by the weekend. Or I don't do anything in the weekends. I just sweat all weekend. I would say if you're bullish in the weekend, call spread. With not a traditional call spread. If you really want to go long in the weekend, you probably want to do a call spread with unlimited upside and limited downside. Hold on here. We can do that one too. Let me just go to option strat really quick. If you guys don't use this, you can go to option strat. I have a paid account, but you can have a, I think I do. I just found out yesterday I didn't have fucking live data anymore. All my credit cards keep expiring or being killed for new ones. Let me just log in really quick. Like bull put spread, easy, limited loss, limited profit though. If you were like, hey, we're gonna squeeze balls and go up 10% over the weekend, everybody's gonna be singing Kumbaya or whatever. Diagonal call spread, same. It's not really appropriate here. Hold on here. Nearly unlimited loss. They don't want that one. That's what I was thinking. Was a call ratio back spread would be nice here. You have limited losses. You have unlimited profit. It's bullish on your own. I'm not going to do it today in the show, but look up a call ratio back spread. You can also look up. That's a bad one for you too. Probably the best one. If I had the best trade for the bulls that think we're going to moon over the weekend, probably call ratio back spread. If I had to guess, specifically look up a call ratio back spread. If you're bullish over the weekend, you think we're going to sing Kumbaya, the war is going to be over, market's going to be up 6-7%. It has unlimited profit, limited loss, extremely bullish strategy that gives great profits when the stock market makes a big upward move, and a loss if only it moves a bit. If established for a net credit and the stock goes down, you can actually still make a small amount. The only problem I see with this trade is if we were to crash over the weekend, like we wake up and it's like down 5-8% or something like that, it can get really fucking messy. They put enough time on the trade and you think it'll recover off that crash, you could do quite well if you put enough time in the trade. I know you guys want the magic squeeze button for the weekend, but I think I gotta check some stuff here. I think someone's going to answer a question here. That's 3 p.m., right? Immediate reopening of Strait of Hormuz demanded at 40 nation talks. Good to see talks. Houthis, we bombed vital targets in Tel Aviv with a barrage of ballistic missiles. We carried out a joint operation with Iran and Hezbollah against vital enemy targets in Jaffa area. It's Houthi. When the Strait of Hormuz fully opens, this will be crucial to global oil markets. No one yet knows when the strait will fully open, but rebuilding any refugee structure, whatever, will be first priority. Iran foreign minister striking civilian structures, including unfinished bridges, will not compel Iran to surrender. We don't know who's in charge in Iran. It's said there Yemeni armed forces will be issued at 2:40 p.m. shortly. I don't see that anywhere. Yemeni armed forces? I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They said they were doing it at 2:40, but I don't see anything. Oh, Houthis join war. Yemeni group. Well, there was an announcement. Yemen hits sensitive Israeli targets. How about something closer, newer than that? Past 24 hours? They might be joining the war, but I can't figure out what they mean. Reminds me of last night. Pop and drop. More liquidity. See what I got here. Let me read a couple things here into the close. Gold Gamma better bid. Gold Gamma is better bid with spot outperforming again. Risk reversals are performing well in the front with spot and vol correlation performing very negatively. Gamma looks cheap for potential news over the weekend. Let me post this for you in the Discord. I'm reading some positive news on here. Yeah, thoughts and prayers into the weekend, right? I'm reading positive news here. I'm going to post some stuff for you here. Reduced retail snaps up ETFs. Try to give you guys some positive news here into the weekend if you're bullish. Yeah, I think this is a liquidity grab to go lower. I think on this close, they're just trying to get a new high to sell. Markets turned bearish on Hormuz reopening. Prediction markets show declining confidence that traffic through the Strait of Hormuz will normalize soon. Odds of reopening before June 1 have fallen to around 30%. I think they're wrong. Maybe not June, but I think we're entering the next stage of the war here over the weekend. Now, Trump saying 2 seconds ago, it's time for Iran to make a deal before it's too late. Iran's Mubarak steel plant halts production. Mortgage rates hit highest in September. Trump signals prolonged Iran conflict. We saw that last night. We fucking guys bringing up wars that were he's like Vietnam, World War One. You guys didn't care about that in Iraq. It's like, dude, you gave us a video announcement of this one like fucking 3 weeks ago, bro. There wasn't even a timeline. You didn't even build a case publicly, bro. All of a sudden, I'm going to be a daddy? The triplets? We're not even dating. I just met you like 2 nights ago, Trump. We had one cocktail, and you want to have triplets now with me? You don't even know me. Sorry, Das. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't mean to do that. I'm done. Hold on. I'm just trying to give people some I just wanted to get a few things out before the end of the day. We got Dr. CS is in there dropping hammers with dropping hammers with Bloomberg Terminal, and then riding the NARS, dropping a bunch of white papers in there, and then I'm shitting all over the place for some hopium. I feel bad because I can see, like, I feel it too. Like, I feel like, oh yeah, we're gonna squeeze. We're going up 5% on Monday, baby. And it is the weekend, right? I'm sorry. Sorry, Daz. I'm putting you in the good book, bro. You can interrupt me whenever you want. I'm sorry. Oh, what's that big red ball right there? Don't do it. Don't, nope. Don't do it, Spoos. Don't do it. Stay alive, Spoos. You can do it. Stay alive. We need you up higher. No more shit posting in the Discord for me. No, wrong way, Spoos. Oracle's data center being targeted. That'll make Reddit happy. We got a new military spokesman. We got a new guy. He said, Martin Shkreli. Shkreli is his name. His name's actually Shikachi. The Strait of Hormuz will be closed long term to the U.S. and Israel. Oh God, what's going on? Don't know. Wrong way, Spoos. I was trying to fucking call you last night. So, like, I got rid of all the booze in my house, Binky, and I've been sick. My wife got bourbon, so I tasted it, and I was like, God, this tastes like fucking rotten cork. And I thought it was COVID. And then this morning I found out that she got me Jack Daniels. I was like, yeah, maybe I'm not losing my taste buds. I was like, maybe I lost my fucking taste buds. Maybe it's because you got. She was like, well, it was all they had. I'm like, oh God, drinking Jack Daniels. Ugh. No offense to Jack Daniels, but there's better shit whiskey out there. Well, I think for like shit whiskey, for shit bourbon, like I think Evan Williams beats it fucking up and down. There's a few others like Whistle Pig? Whistle Pig's cheap shit too. That's pretty good goddamn whiskey. I can't do what fucking Binky's doing. I can't do the fucking old granddad 100 proof. I'll be fucking running around naked in the streets. Wild Turkey 101, baby, huh? I do drunk tile people. I do drunk tile my friends. I'm an old man. I can't go out and fool around anymore. That's what old men do. They drunk tile each other late night.
It's like at 3 o'clock in the morning.
They call me too. I get fucking random phone calls in the middle of the goddamn night. I'm like, I ain't answering that. Fuck that guy. That guy will keep me up till 4 a.m. I gotta call doggone it. I haven't spoken to his ass in a bit. Find out what country he's stuck in right now. Just take this one last thing to the end of the day today, okay? Listen to me closely here. I want you to think about the emotional stress that traders go through. I want you to think about like less trading, and you don't need to catch every fucking FOMO move. And you and you and um like the more pain, usually the better trading, especially if you're a bull. Like more like blood in the streets, doom and gloom, everything's awful. Usually better off. It's okay to miss moves. I need to impress that upon you that it's okay to miss moves. And the importance of like trading with rules, trading with a system, any kind of system, even my system. You do your own fucking system. Just be patient, less trading. Come out when there's blood everywhere. If you're long from the lows, congratulations. You put a nice little fucking hedge on yourself for the weekend. Everything is good. If you're caught in that cycle, it's okay to just stop. It really is. It's fine to just like stop and wait for a bloody day, or the worst of the worst of the worst, or whatever the fuck it is, and you're gonna be much better off monetarily. Even if you get the excitement of that one trade where you're like, "Woo, I made all this money." I've been there. I've been there. I get it. There's so many better trading days than like what'd you do? I rode all of my money on a squeeze over the end of war, and then I gave it all back over the next 6 months because I thought it would work again. That's brutal. It's a fucking horrible life.
On steel, aluminium, and copper derivatives.
Yeah, my wife messes with me all the time. I just asked her a few minutes ago. I was like, "Am I that bad looking for my age?" Like, because I'm looking at the camera and I'm like, "I don't look like this." I went and stood in front of a mirror. I'm like, I look at my camera all day long and I look like a fucking. Do you love me? What is this?
Derivatives tariff applies if item is at least 15% metal.
Yeah, tariff on who? Everybody? The U.S. just imposed a 25% tariff on steel, aluminum, and copper derivatives. I don't know on who, though. Maybe it's everybody? I think it's for 150 days or something. Let me just keep this up here. I think we can get up here in the close. Potential. I think it's to grab. I think it's to grab puts though. If we go up there, it's to grab hedges over the weekend.
Not claimed import value, according to a U.S. official. U.S. to reduce tariffs on other steel, aluminium, and copper derivative products to 25%, applied to full value of the product. And the U.S.
A nice little bid here at Nike.
And copper tariffs on derivative products if metal content is below 15% by weight. The U.S. official says metal duty adjustments should not have material and economic impact, but will simplify tariff regime.
Yeah, I like the joy of missing out here. I like the idea of like peace and sleep over the weekend. And I even like if I miss it over the weekend to just say, "Oh, I'll come back and buy the dip." I really do here.
Extend gains to 1% on strategy shift for Copilot.
This is your first leg here for a corrective move. Maybe you can get a smaller corrective move, maybe. Like here, here, and here, and then up again. Start another process of going higher. I hope, or some of you hope. I'm with you, Michael. At this point, there's no need. That's a fire one right there. Yeah, like being stressed out over the weekend. Like there have been some kick-ass trades this week. I made fucking bank this week. This week's been good. I think just patience is the trade. Being in the bottoms, getting out before the crazy town, and then just observing in the lows and observing in the highs.
100% tariffs on patented drug imports unless manufacturers have signed drug pricing deal or agrees to make product in the US. The tariff can be reduced to 20% if companies move manufacturing to the US, and pharmaceutical tariff reduced to 15% on Europe, Japan, South Korea, and Switzerland due to trade deals. The companies that move manufacturing to the US and sign most favored nation drug pricing deals with the US, HHS, exempt from pharmaceutical tariffs. Smaller pharmaceutical companies have 100.
It sucks, doesn't it, Binky? Losing money blows, man. Like in the moment, like it just grips on you. It's like I must be long right now, and then just sit the fuck back and do nothing and chill for a minute. And you figure like there's already like giant trades this week. Big giant trade on the close on Friday. Big giant trade up. Big giant trade down. Big giant trade up again today. And you can like I can feel it. I can feel like the need. Or the need, like I missed out. I missed out. I just missed that big down move. I missed the big up move. I missed the other big down move. I missed the big up move today. I gotta get in right now, baby. Like I gotta get a piece of that. And this is the setup, right? Like the big setup here is big squeeze up over the weekend. Woo, made all that money. Yeah, agreed, Bink. I'd rather see like the I'll be honest with you, I'd rather see the fucking shank down here. Blood on Monday morning, that's your bottom, and then you like swoop it in and just buying that fucking bottom be dope. Like flush out like fucking 30% of retail traders. Fucking just like dink. And they're all there on Monday morning going, the whole world's gonna burn. You're like, I'm already down there, bro. I'm going long. U.S. is imposing 100% tariffs on patented drug imports unless the manufacturer sign a drug pricing deal or agrees to make the product in the U.S. I think he can do this for like a set number of days, but I don't think he can do it for ever. It's like a short-term thing. Well, I could be wrong on this. Don't quote me, but from my understanding, after the Supreme Court decision, he can do it, but he can't do it like there's like time limits on every one unless he changes it up what it is. Let me just check around the market before we close here. Let me just check CL and check let me check a few things into this close here for you guys. Let me just check CL really quick. Let's check the Dix. Brent. Oh yeah, that fucking CL dude. You guys aren't watching CL right now? CL wants to fuck shit up. Dixie. Yeah, Dixie looking bullish as fuck right now. OVX. OVX is kind of bullish. It's on the daily trigger right now. Man, I want to get some fucking puts into this close if we can go higher. If we can squeeze up into this up here, I would totally down. What else I gotta look at here? VIX 9-day. VIX 9-day is kind of bullish. Yeah, see, like VIX 9-day is like bullish, but like a pop and drop.
COMEX copper rises as much as 1.4% after tariff announcement.
Let me check this really quick. Yeah, that didn't work there, did it? That didn't work there. The VIX 9-day is not giving any, nothing that I can see. Let me see this here. VIX says pop and drop. It's hard to read right now. What's HYG doing? HYG looks pretty bullish here. There's a mixed signaling going on. I could make an argument. I'm just looking at this stuff for both squeeze and drop. It says. Let me look at the cues really quick. Looks so like cues look so fucking bullish here. It looks like it wants to fucking squeeze balls off and then dump. Let's look at IWM because that's the biggest squeezer here. God, look at IWM. IWM wants to fuck here. IWM is the most dangerous for down moves, but it's the most squeezable. Let me look around the market here.
According to sources, Microsoft has pivoted its AI sales strategy to focus on selling Copilot rather than offering it for free as part of a software bundle.
Not the move index. Breakout, breakdown. We can look at that.
Money market fund assets rise to 7.81 trillion through April 1st, according to ICI.
Now I will say this on my I have an index here. Man, Bitcoin could fucking move to the upside too. Like financials are doing just fine. Broker dealer looks good. Bitcoin looks like it has squeeze potential. Bitcoin looks like shit right now. The sentiment is in the shitter. Where's SPX, Gamma? Let me just check SPX really quick.
To Axios, citing a US official, just further saying earlier that Karaj Bridge, which was bombed today, was used to transport missile parts from Tehran to launch sites in western Iran.
Yeah, I want lower too. Pop and drop, maybe? It's showing like a pop and drop. If I had to take any takeaway here, it's pop and drop. Let me check. There is a lot of risk on tickers today. SNDK, Seagon, Fly. Check out Fly, FLY, and check out Life. There's a few of them here. I'm going to post these in the Discord. There's actually a lot of risk on going on right now. The two that I like the best are Fly and Life. It's showing a pop and drop, like pop into Friday and then drop. That's a brutal trade. Good Friday. The bond market is open but closes at 12. International markets such as London, Euronext Paris are closed. Shortened session closing early, likely around 11 or 12 p.m. after trading on Thursday evening. No new futures positions are established on Friday. See if that close calls for a squeeze above maybe tomorrow. They close at typically 11:15. The reporting again limited 12 p.m. Probably depends on who you're trading with. You could probably do like a futures trade, but you have to close it tomorrow. I would close it tomorrow, like a pop and drop. If you're like bullish, I would go with futures. Where you could potentially go. Doesn't like Robinhood offer stock buying, even when the market's closed? It looks like pop and drop. From what I'm looking at in the background here, it looks like pop and then drop on Friday and drop on Monday. It's a hard thing to trade. I'm trying to figure out a way to trade it, but maybe I don't know if I would even want to sell options against it. You get a big squeeze up, you're fucked. You get a big squeeze down, you're fucked. This is a hard trade. Not gonna lie. Hold on here. Where the fuck is my account? Let's see if we can
SpaceX is said to target more than $2 trillion in valuation for the IPO. Feds Williams, speaking on Fox Business, says higher energy prices hit inflation and demand. Feds Williams says higher energy prices hit both sides of the Fed mandates. Feds Williams says so far the war is showing up in gasoline prices, but not data yet. Williams says inflation will show up in statistics as time goes on. Williams says uncertainty and risks have increased in both directions. Williams says monetary policy is well positioned to manage risks. Williams says the Fed will have to watch data to see how risks evolve. Right now, I think risks to the Fed goals are in balance. Williams says there is a pass-through of energy prices into the economy. Williams says it takes months or a year for energy prices to work through the economy.
Watch this closely with me.
Williams says markets are pretty optimistic. Oil prices will come back down.
Williams says for jobs, expectation is more modest hiring. Williams adds that the economy is low higher, low fire, with stable unemployment. Williams says it's too soon for energy surge to hit the job market data.
I want to watch this closely here. Yeah, that's the one right here. I'm watching this one right here. And this is the one you got to watch out right here. That's a good tick right there. That's good.
One minute to go now to give the market on close imbalance data. Ten seconds. Market on close imbalance. S&P 500 buy side 2.7 billion. Nasdaq 100 buy side 1.8 billion. Dow
Holy
buy side
shit.
621 million. And Mag 7 buy side 947 million.
That's a fucking huge. I'll post this for you in the Discord.
According to security sources, drone crashes inside Iraq's Erbil border, crossing with Jordan, damaging customs clearance officers. Again, that's drone crashes inside Iraq's Trebel border, crossing with Jordan, damaging customs clearance officers, according to security sources.
This is the MOC. It's huge. Bye, 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 bye. There you can see that. Hold on. Here's the newest one. This looks the same, a little bit different, but still lots of buy, even in the close here. MOC imbalance, pretty big buy here. I posted them in the Discord for you. Buy Apple, Nvidia, Tesla, Avgo, MU, top 5 sells, NSC, UNP, NEE, GLW, SHW. Mag 7 is fucking not as much buying in Misfit or Google, but tons of buying in Apple, Tesla, Meta. Not so much Meta, NVDA. Keep on fucking going. Keep on fucking going. You're not done. This is the pivot point right here. Be careful. You might want to get out. That top tick right there. Watch it. Keep on going. There's one. This looks like it might be it right here. You see that big red thing right there?
Ed Williams says the Fed is watching private closely, and I do not see systemic risk.
Sorry for my sloppy typing. I apologize. I got a lot going on here in the background.
Reasons for some recent private credit developments amid market repricing.
That was a good trade, wasn't it? You pro trader out there? You looking in the pro trader pit? You guys watching that right now? Was that a good trade? Was that okay? Fucking wait all fucking day long. All fucking day long. Hate this fucking market. That was almost a near perfect fucking tick up there.
Williams says monetary policy is in the right place. Iran says Hormuz Strait is going to remain shut for the US and Israel in the long term, says Iran's Fars news agency, citing armed force spokesman. It's a reiteration of what's been said already, coming through again.
Dust, you make money on that trade? You saw that trade in there? A fucking great trade, dude. That was a good trade. Same to you, Dust. I want you all to have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Remember, if you're trying to get long, future is probably the way to do it. You can close those trades out on Friday if you want to. There are some nice unlimited upside potential spreads into the weekend if you're bullish. If you probably know my positioning if you check the Pro Trader. It was a nice little trade here, and at the end of the day, it was fucking sexy.
Tesla shares closed down 5.4%.
It's a nice 100% trade in here. This fucking thing right fucking here. Right fucking perfect fucking trade. Fucking love it. Fucking live on this shit. Fucking god damn, no wonder everybody gets sucked into this shit. Such a good trade. Fucking blah 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 blah. Let's make our money and get the fuck out of here for a fucking Friday. It's fucking dope trade, right? Easy, risk-free money.
500 and Nasdaq Composite snap 5-week streak of declines.
Oh god, that felt so fucking good. Oh fucking A. Okay. For the rest of you that are living by the sword over the weekend, have fun, and I'm living rent-free in my head. It's the fucking weekend. If you're a bull and you're long over the weekend and you make a bunch of money, congratulations. If you're a bull and you lose all your money over the weekend, come back again. I'll see you on Monday. Work a double or something, come back with a paycheck. And that's a fucking great weekend. That's a fucking outstanding weekend. That was a 100% fucking trade the last fucking 10 minutes of the goddamn day. Okay. You have a great weekend. If you ever want, just head on over to the Pro Trader Pit and you'll see the trades in there. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. If you're one of those traders that are getting eaten alive, stick with it. You gotta, eventually it'll beat the fuck out of you until you can make money. I promise you. It'll either wash you out permanently or you will take enough lickings that you will start to wait for your fucking trade. And when your fucking trade comes, you're Johnny on the spot, ready to go. You know all the risk. You know where the downside is. And it feels fucking good. One fucking day when it happens, you're going to be stoked. I wish you all a happy weekend. If you're military or near military, you watch this show and you're overseas. If you're in the States, I don't care where the fuck you are, stay safe. You don't need to fucking be the tip of the spear at all fucking times. And for those of you out there that are the tip of the spear, when it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go. Please listen to that. And I do wish everyone safe in the world. Palestine, I don't care where you live. I don't want to see anybody dying anytime, anywhere. So I hope this does resolve over the weekend. I wish you all well. And please stay safe. Be kind to each other over this weekend. And I'll see you all on Monday. I may fuck around this week. I'm not doing nothing. I'm dead sick. Like I got no plans. I'm recovering. My oldest is now sick too. She has not come out of her bed today. So I'm assuming she's really fucked up. You guys have a great weekend. Have a great holiday. Relax. And wherever you is living and dying by the sort of weekend, I wish you all well. Hope you all make money. See ya.